What a way we kick off season number 10 here in the CW Columbus. A matchup between a couple of OCC powers as tonight Reynoldsburg takes on Upper Arlington. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State here on the CW Columbus. I'm Randy Reinhardt in year number 39. Proud to be joined for the last quarter of a century by this man who's done so much hard time dealing with me, the football professor, Jeff Logan. Jeff, we're back together again.
Yeah, Randy, it's great to be back with you and great to be back in Central Ohio for high school football, which I hope is going to be a more normal year than what we had just a year ago.
And what a way to kick off season number 10 of the CW Columbus. A couple of OCC powers colliding. Reynoldsburg last year 4-4. Buddy White, what a job he does as their head coach. Year number 11, an insurance agent during the day, football coach at night, and he's got a talent-laden team. And it's all led by their focal point, their quarterback, a returning starter. His name is DeJohn Jennings.
Yeah, DeJohn Jennings, one of the top 10 quarterbacks probably in the state of Ohio. Played a little bit as a freshman and a sophomore, but has really been the leader of this football team for the last couple of seasons now. Buddy White, a year ago, decided to go young. So he's built some confidence in his football team as they've grown. But if they're going to win tonight, number one has got to play great.
On the other side, it is Upper Arlington, the Golden Bears, 3-5 last season under Justin Buttermore, now in a year number 2 for him. Now, last season, he didn't meet the team for 2 months in person. He had to do it via Zoom and Skype until they could get together. Then they shut it down for 2 weeks early in August, but he's molded this team. It is a ball control team for the most part. The reason why? He's got a running back, Jeff, that I know you'll appreciate, who can really run the ball. His name is Carson Greeson.
Yeah, Greeson is just an absolute beast at the running back spot. Last year in 2020, 1,300 yards rushing, Randy, 10 touchdowns, and Coach Buttermore kind of feels like this is season 1 all over again, but they did get a win in the playoffs, first time since 2015, so a lot to build upon.
Upper Arlington leads the series 13-4, but Reynoldsburg has taken the last 2. Are you ready, Jeff, for some football?
Let's rock and roll.
Are you ready? What a game we have on the horizon. It is Reynoldsburg. It is Upper Arlington. The kickoff is just around the corner. Join us for Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place on the CW Columbus.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Marshall McPeak. We have
And welcome back to Moorhead Memorial Stadium. Let's get tonight's forecast for the game from ABC 6 Chief Meteorologist Marshall McPeak.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Marshall McPeak. We have perfect conditions for our very first Friday night rivals matchup on the CW Columbus. Reynoldsburg is at Upper Arlington, and the weather tonight should be completely cooperative. Now, mind you, it is warm and humid, but still, at least it's dry. There is the tiniest chance for a pop-up shower during the evening, but most places will remain dry. 77 by 9 o'clock tonight, still in the 70s by 11 o'clock this evening.
Thank you, Marshall. And now let's meet the third member of our broadcast team, a new face, Miles Harris. Miles.
Randy, thank you very much. Now, for the first time in over a year, we're finally seeing fans back into the stands. So how's that going to play a factor into tonight's game? Now, if you're the Golden Bears, that's got to be an awesome feeling to kind of have all that noise behind you. But for the opposing side in Reynoldsburg, how's that going to play a factor into the play calling? Will we see some bad snaps? Definitely something to keep an eye out for. Now, there's a lot of playmakers on the field tonight, but either way, I'm looking forward to a solid matchup, guys.
Miles, thank you very much. Reynoldsburg won the toss, kept the coin as well, too, I think, and they will get the ball to start this contest. Zach Yoakum to boot it, 5'8", 168, and a senior. And he did a great job last season. 7 touchbacks. He's got it teed up. And Jeff, the sense of anticipation is almost over. We've waited for what we hope will be a normal season for some time, and we're just about ready to start season number 10.
Yeah, they've had full contact verbally and physically with their football teams all throughout the preparation, so I think we'll see some great games this season.
And we will not have a return to start this contest. There was a dangerous man back deep, and Marquise Gillum, who last season returned 2 different kickoffs for 92 yards and touchdowns, respectively, against Gahanna and Newark. So it'll be Reynoldsburg on offense to start this contest, a team that went 4-4 last year. We mentioned the quarterback, John Jennings, 6 feet 185, and what a job he did running that offense, passing for nearly 1,400 yards and rushing in positive territory for 220 yards. And you mentioned it, this is a guy that's played some, at least from his freshman year on, really understands the quarterback position and has done a great job. He had one game against Gahanna with 4 touchdown passes and ran for 82 yards and a score. So he will lead the offense in this contest tonight. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. And he wants to throw on the first down play, and the pass incomplete to the far side of the field, looking to get Gillum in space.
Yeah, no secret what they're trying to do is get that ball out to the guy that can make the big plays there, and DeJon Jennings just kind of overthrew him.
Your starters for Reynoldsburg, the offensive coordinator, A.J. Lash. We mentioned Gillum walked for him as a wide out in the backfield. Zion Jackson-Wilburn is a force as well, too. Only 11 carries, 36 yards last year, but ran track, Jeff, in the offseason. And, boy, they say he can really motor through a hole on a 2nd and 10. Jennings with time now calls his own number and will have the first down across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. So picks up 11 on the play and will move the sticks as the Golden Bears make the hit in the person of Jack Purcell coming up from the secondary.
Well, this is what dual threat quarterback gives you, and the ability to just get out and try and get the first down. That's the experience of DeJon Jennings back there at the quarterback position. Short gain there on the next play of about 5 yards, Randy.
Zion Jackson-Wilburn on the carry. Now, Reynoldsburg will pick up about 4. They don't huddle very often unless it's short yardage or maybe a goal line scenario. They love to get up near the line. They signal in plays. They don't even use wristbands that often anymore either. So 2nd and 6 after a gain of 4. Jennings looking long downfield, 2-on-1, and the pass nearly caught, nearly intercepted as well, too. Intended on the play for Troy Martin, who they're very high on double coverage back there for the Golden Bears. Was that an ill-advised pass, perhaps?
No, I'll tell you what. I think, he threw into double coverage, but how good was this ball? His guy actually, high points, is able to come up and try and make the play. Troy Martin, number 13, down the field trying to make the play.
Charlie Paxton on coverage there along with Jack Purcell. They're high on Martin. They think he's the quarterback of the future, but he's such a great athlete. They have him out there as a wide receiver, too. On a 3rd down and 6, and the motor to the far side of the field. The pass is caught across the 41 near the 42-yard line, and that will be a first down. Joseph Spann makes the catch, and that is a home appliance first down. And here's your defense now for the Golden Bears. And their D coordinator, by the way, is head coach Justin Buttermore. They'll run that 4-man front, but they'll make it look like a shade 50 as well at times, too. And we've got motion up front on this first down play from the 42. And Hankies will fly for the first time. Good play from the linebackers, too.
It looked like Donovan Reed, number 12, was the guy in motion. And again, Randy, that's one of the risks of running that hurry-up offense that you have out there, trying to get everybody on the same page, and especially with some young football players.
Greg Gumpf, your referee, noting that it was a false start on the offense. So mark it back 5. It is now a first down and 15. From back at the 37-yard line. Played about 120 of this contest. Jennings, again, look at the maneuverability, and with all that effort, Jeff, he's going to get back to what was the most common line of scrimmage here, back to around the 37-yard line. Jennings, looking downfield, didn't see what he wanted on the far side of the field, decided to call his own number, and picks up about a foot on the play.
Yeah, Randy, that gives you some idea of what a little mistake like that costs you. Going off sides, taking a 5-yard penalty, it gives you a negative situation. Now they've got themselves in a long situation on second down.
It is now second and just more than 14. And off the left side they go, and Reynoldsburg still fighting and churning and trying to get up to the 39-yard line, and that is it. So they try to take it around the left side. Not a whole lot there on the play for Jackson Wilburn. We mentioned the fact that, limited time from last year, but track helped him out. But a young guy that is a hard runner, and he can go the distance, Jeff, when you put him in open field. A good frame, too, at 5'9", 190, and a senior. And there's another good frame on your screen there, big number 79 on the outside for Upper Arlington in Hayden Kegg, who could play at defensive end, or also in the interior 3 as well, too. So mark it up to the 39-yard line. You're going to need about 13 from there.
Just 3 men rushing on this play.
And Jennings, can he get it across midfield? The spin move gets him to the 46, but that's shy of the first down by about 6 yards.
Exactly what the defense wanted to accomplish there. Just rushing 3 and putting the other 8 football players there in a shield, making sure that nobody got behind him, but more importantly, recognizing when Deshaun Jennings is going to take off, that there's going to be plenty of football players there to be able to greet him.
So it's a punting situation now for the Raiders. And Ibrahim Fall, 6'3", 160, and a senior replaces Justin Barco, who graduated, a soccer player that is converted to playing some football. And I'm digging the shoes as well, too, at the 34-yard line. A floater of a snap, a little pressure up the middle. And the Golden Bears directing traffic. It's going to hit inside the 20 and take a Raider roll inside the 10. And all the way down to the 8-yard line and maybe the 7 before it dies, with 8:35 left to go here in the first quarter. And Upper Arlington will get their first possession in this contest here in week number 1, and a great night for high school football. We couldn't ask for better conditions. You heard the forecast from Marshall McPeak. So many days with rain, it seems like, and overcast skies, but that's not the scenario here tonight.
Randy, the heat's out there. You've got the artificial surface, a lot of that heat coming up through the field. And, fortunately for the last 2 or 3 weeks, these football teams have been able to train in this kind of weather. But we're going to watch as the game goes on, because a couple of these guys are playing both ways, offense and defense.
So 1st and 10 now from just past the 7-yard line. One man in motion for Manin, the quarterback. And they'll keep it on the ground with the aforementioned Mr. Greenstock. And right up the middle, Carson up across the 25-yard line, up to around the 26. Carson Greeson there, nothing fancy, 5'10", 220. That is a guy we mentioned accelerates into contact, and you saw it on that play right there.
That's an inside trap, and there's just a little bit of a seam there, and you can see he was able to break the initial tackle going right up the middle. There's a lot of beef up there in that front 4 for the Reynoldsburg Raiders, but Greeson was able to find a seam.
Yeah, Marcel Burnett thought he had him back at the 9-yard line, but to no avail. 1st and 10, mark the ball up to the 27-yard line for the Golden Bears. Quick pop in the flat, little bubble across the 25 up to the 30 and up to the 33-yard line. Catch made by Jack Purcell. Seeing a lot of time on both sides of the football, Jeff, in the secondary and also as a wideout. He's out there along with the likes of Kuiper Leshutka, a famous last name if you follow Columbus politics in the past. Lance Thrush also seeing time as a wideout. There's Simon Monin, the quarterback, good size in the offensive line. You've got the Pritchett twins up there as well, too. That offensive line last year, Jeff, gave up only 3 sacks. 2nd down, they pick up about 6 on that first down play. Off the left side, they'll take it. The gap has it up to around the 35-yard line, as we may see a steady dose tonight of that number 33, Mr. Greeson.
What a challenge that this Simon Monin has gone through as far as the quarterback. He's a senior on this football team. But I want you to think about the fact that 4 years ago as a freshman, he had to learn a system that was a wing tee. Then they got rid of a coach, went to an option. Then they get into the junior season, broken collarbone, and now they get into this season and they're in a spread. You talk about not knowing which way is up.
Things have to get better, right? Third down and short, just more than 2 now as we evaporate about 5 minutes off the clock. Up the middle, nothing fancy there. That's going to get the ball up near the sticks on the second and third effort maybe, and they might have the first down yet. Simon Monin, a guy that was 21 of 47 passing for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chris Vangas handles the offense for Upper Arlington, and it is Anthony White handling the defense for Reynoldsburg. And they like that 4-3 base. Some good guys up front. Watch Alex Ewell as the linebacker and Jabari Mitchell. He's the real deal. He will play on the next level very soon because he's got all the talent you need as an outside linebacker. Good experience in the secondary as well, too, with Spencer back there and Deontay Head. First down, do they violate? I think they did. I think we'll have an encroachment on the defense. It'll be 1st and 5.
Yeah, big number 52, Marcel Burnett, who's had a great start to the game. There you see the encroachment against the defense. That's going to put them in a very favorable position, 1st down and 5. And just going to talk about Burnett, Randy, because at 6'2", 296 as a junior, this kid's got great upside. And the thing that impresses me more about him, you look at that size, you think, my goodness, that is a huge man. But you judge the position of that nose guard by how well does he move his feet. Is he able to move laterally? And that's one of the things that I'm going to watch for tonight. Watch number 52 and see how well he moves laterally along the line of scrimmage.
He had 6 solos and 5 assists last year on a 1st and 5 quick out pattern. Pass is complete, then the pass is dropped, but it is indeed a completed pass inside the 47 to the 46. And now they're saying it was juggled and then went out of bounds on the play in the possession of Mr. Lance Thrush. It looked like he had it, then lost it out of bounds, didn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, the back judge was there, and he's the one that came in from about 30 yards away and signaled it. Let's see if he got control and make that proverbial football move. Is it put away? Is he juggling it? Boy, that is a bang-bang play. I think it could have gone either way, Randy, but it goes an incompletion, 2nd down and 5.
And that was from the replay judge, Jeff Logan, up here in the booth, too. 2nd down and 5 now, as we played just about half of this first quarter. Blitz coming from the outside backer, and to that side they go with Greenstock, who's going to tighten up the sidelines and get up near midfield before he's knocked out of bounds on the play. With 6:08 left to go here in the first quarter. A great and a very rapid first quarter played by these two teams here in week number 1.
They love to run into the boundary, the short side of the field where they've got the hash marks over there. The reason for that is it's just math. Look at the number of defensive football players that line up on the short side of the field. When they come out here, you're going to see only 3 or 4 football players lined up. The other 7 are to the wide side of the field, so they love to run Greenstock into the boundary.
And last year, the Golden Bears averaged 176.8 yards rushing per contest. He's got it again. Greenstock brought down right at the 49. No, they take it to the outside. Good fake that time. I thought Greenstock had it, but he was brought down on the outside. Big number 14 was brought down on the play, as was the keeper that time by Monin. Hit and brought down by Alex Ewell, the outside linebacker that I had mentioned before, too. Ewell doing a great job of floating to the play. Last year, he told us he wanted to own a real estate company or be a neurosurgeon. Tell you one thing he is a football player.
Well, defensive end on that play, Anthony Mobley had the responsibility of taking the running back, and he didn't care where the football went. He was going to make sure that he took Greenstock down if he had the ball, but good read by quarterback Simon Monin to keep the football.
Monin picks up a couple on the play. Senior drifts back on a 2nd and 8. Pressure from the outside. Finds a gap. Finds a seam. Gets it down and slides into second base right near the 41-yard line near the sticks. And I think he will have just about enough for the first down. They'll move the chains. Now, I wanted to mention, too, Jeff, this year the officials are allowed to touch the football. Remember last year, the officials could not touch the football. They would throw down a little beanbag or a little place marker, and then the center would take the ball and place it where that marker was. But this year, the officials can touch the ball.
I'm trying to wash that entire memory out of just gone, from last year. The center taking the football back to the huddle with them and then coming out and placing it by the beanbag. What a change we have had back to normal conditions.
1st and 10 from the Raiders, 41-yard line. A dump in the flat. It's complete. That is Buttermore, the son of the head coach, who's a starting DB as well, too. And the backup at running back for Greenstock has the catch for a small gain. And, Jeff, we alluded to a clash of cultures in the pregame, and I think, indeed, that's what we're seeing right now. Upper Arlington would be very happy with a nice methodical drive, especially early in the season and in this game, and work that ball downfield.
Yeah, they want to be balanced in what they do, Randy, but, do they have that big time, a deep threat? I don't know that Arlington's got that. They're doing what they do best with the talent that they have. Let's watch and see up on the bottom of the screen here. Kuiper Lashutka lined up on the bottom. Nope, that's 84 lined up on the bottom. My bad. That's Lance Thrush.
Yeah, they'll keep it on the ground. Little gap there. Wow, Buttermore got smacked right at the 40-yard line. Saw a seam and got batted back as he got up to the 40-yard line as Jabari Mitchell came through to make the hit.
Yeah, I don't know that Jabari Mitchell didn't get the worst of that too. He came up and it was, we talk about helmet-to-helmet contact, but that was quite a collision there right at the line of scrimmage.
So now it'll be third down, with 3:53 left to go. And on this play, it'll be Powell going to the top. Live stream sponsored by Kroger, Great Lakes Distribution Center. We've made it so easy to watch Honda's Friday Night Rivals every week thanks to Kroger, Great Lakes Distribution Center. Every game is available online, on air, and on every device. So check that out. The pass falls incomplete. Tonight's game, by the way, is streaming live on the ABC6 YouTube channel, the ABC6 News app, and on the CWColumbus.com. And if you're old school like me and Jeff here, it's always available on your television set right here on the CW Columbus. So now, fourth down, I assume this is a punting scenario for the Golden Bears?
It certainly is. Zach Yoakum, who is one of the top kickers in the country, also doing the punting duties here. His responsibility is to put it in that coffin corner inside the 10-yard line, and Buddy White wants a timeout.
He replaces Garrett Junk, the first-teamer, who graduated, and indeed the Raiders will burn their first timeout in this contest.
Only 10 football players on the field. Special teams mistake in terms of getting the right number out there, and Buddy White, their special teams coach, able to collect it.
And now a word from Capital City Concrete.
Capital City Concrete replaces cracked and crumbling driveways with beautiful, sleek, and new concrete driveways. 5-star rated Capital City Concrete guarantees our concrete driveways are done right. Plus, now through Wednesday, save $300. So when it comes to your new driveway,
let the pros do it.
Get your free price quote and save $300 at capcityconcrete.com or call us at 614-371-9886.
And if you're new to high school football, each team gets 3 timeouts per half. Reynoldsburg has burned their first one in this contest. And now the Raiders back on the field. Keys to the game, first of all, for Reynoldsburg. These are your Honda keys. Sweet sounds from DJ. That would be John Jennings on offense. Big night, big deal. New high school for Upper Arlington. But they don't want that to be in the mindset at all for the Raiders. They're not going to worry about that. That punt is high and straight up. They'll dribble inside the 20, inside the 15, and take a Golden Bear roll down to the 12-yard line. On the other side for Upper Arlington, Greeson it to him. We saw Carson a lot in that first drive. That is what Upper Arlington wants to do. Also, don't let Gillum thrill him. We're talking about Marquise. He's that big play potential for Reynoldsburg. If you're just joining us, he's maybe 5'5", maybe 150, but definitely runs a 4.3 40. So each team now in this boxing match, as they like to say, has had a chance to possess the ball. Maybe some of the butterflies are gone, and now let's see what Reynoldsburg can do on offense. Did they do anything well on their first drive?
Well, they did, Randy. You think of those first 5 or 6 plays. They were moving along. It didn't look like Arlington could stop them, but they stopped themselves, and they've made the same mistake again going in motion, and that's the discipline that you've got to make sure you have in this football game, because now, 1st and 15, back inside the 10-yard line, put your football team at risk.
We pointed the wrong direction there. He pointed towards the defense, but it was a false start on the offense, so march it back 5 yards inside the 10-yard line. And we have a Home Appliance Solutions first down back inside the 10 near the 7-yard line. Make it 1st and 15 officially from there as Buddy White and crew look on. Jennings up to maybe the 7-yard line. Not much running room there right between the tackles, Joe.
You know, from a talent standpoint, I think that Buddy White believes that this football team, the one he had last year that was young, but also this year really has the capacity to be one of the top teams in the state of Ohio. Their downside, they're in a tough division in the OCC. They've got to go in there and play teams like Lancaster and, of course, Pickerington Central.
Jake Badgley with the hit on the play, returning starter for the Golden Bears, and Jennings motors downfield, throws it across the middle, has his man at the 40, all the way up to the 43-yard line, precariously close to the line of scrimmage when he tossed that, but Joseph Spann makes the catch and gets it all the way up to the 43-yard line for a huge gain on the play for the Raiders as he picks up 35 yards.
We'll keep it right here. They're going to go fast. You see the receiver right over the middle of the field, Joseph Spann, and they come up with a running play on the next play for no gain. And Randy, if you look at that replay, one of the things you'll notice, 2 receivers in exactly the same area. Not only the guy that caught it, Joseph Spann, but you had Marquise Gillum that was in the same area as well. That's not the way it's designed, but I'm going to tell you what.
It worked.
They were both open.
That's right.
That's the concern.
Jackson Wilburn picks up 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9 from the 44. Again, Reynoldsburg likes to go no huddle quite a bit of the time. Fake the handoff to Gillum. Instead, it goes inside, and Jackson Wilburn got the football, and he got waylaid right when he got near the line of scrimmage. Couple guys there. You see big number 44 helping to make the hit on the play, and that was Carter Brock also coming in to help on the play and clean it up, Jake Bashley. But Brock is quite a story as well, too. A solid guy that can play in the offensive line as a tight end, and also a guy that's solid as an inside backer, and boom! There's the contact right there.
He brought the heat there, and he is a transfer from 2 years ago. When Coach came over here from Granville, he came with him.
And the pass, long downfield, waiting for it, making the catch inside the 15 to the 10. And I mentioned it before, he may be small, but boy, he is rapid as Gillum makes the catch, but there's a flag back upfield at the 42-yard line, and we'll see if we're coming back. With 1:36 left to go in the first stanza.
Not looking good for the Raiders. Boy, and that is one thing. The defensive philosophy of Upper Arlington is do not give up the big play. But how do you protect yourself from a young man that runs a 4.3 40? I mean, you have to respect it, but also you can't play him, too loose, or he'll throw it underneath on you all night.
45-yard pass play looks to be negated. Greg Gumpus, our
chop block
referee, and indeed that chop block is going to kill that long gainer. Well, if you're Upper Arlington, you got a dose of what you could expect.
The sideline warning as well to Upper Arlington. For our listeners out there that might not be familiar with that call, that chop block call, this is a safety call to keep the football players from losing their knees. And what happens on a chop block is you watch the tail end of it. Look how wide open Marquise Gillum was. Is that if you have an offensive lineman that is engaged with a defensive player, meaning they're blocking each other, you cannot have a second player come in from the side and take out that defensive player, and that's exactly what that chop block was. 4
Raider penalties for 30 yards on a 3rd and long now. Jennings rolling. He's across the line of scrimmage, so he'll have to maneuver as much as he can. He'll get it up to the 38.5, maybe the 39, push back from there, so it'll be 4th down and long. If you're the Golden Bears, again, you got the preview of Gillum without it killing you here in this first half.
You're very fortunate. You want to keep everything in front of you, and that time a couple of plays ago when Gillum was wide open down the field, had that ball been thrown a little bit further, he'd have caught it in stride and taken it the distance. But again, you can't have those mistakes. So far, the story of this football game, one team has made mistakes, the other team has not yet, but the score is still 0-0.
Fall to punt, standing back at his own 26-yard line. Single safety back deep for the Golden Bears at the 30, with 43 ticks left to go in the first quarter. A nice punt. It's going to drive the Golden Bears back inside the 25, inside the 10, and Mazafari is going to let it roll, and it will be down inside the 10 with 26 seconds left to go in the first quarter. No score so far. Week number 1 of Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College.
I'm Mike Matheny, manager of the Kansas City Royals and graduate of Reynoldsburg High School, and I want to wish my high school team best of luck on Friday Night Rivals.
Thank you, Mike Matheny. Interesting story. He said, I'm not going to wear my jersey. I thought, okay. Skate Town was a roller skating rink in Reynoldsburg. I think it was off of Davison. And that was a rink that he frequented growing up, and he had that shirt.
That's where you took your girlfriend, right? I mean, you went roller skating.
That's right. So he decided to wear that to promote the Raiders, and that was a lot of fun. Had a great series recently to the Royals this past week. So thank you to Mike, a famous graduate of Reynoldsburg. We may have a famous graduate from Upper Arlington as well, too. Stick around for that.
There are a few.
There are a few, yes. Your nephew was one of them, wasn't he?
He was. Danny Logan, who's a graduate of Upper Arlington, went to Denver as a lacrosse player and got to play in some national championship-like games, and now playing for the PLL, the Professional Lacrosse League, and he's doing great. We're real proud of him.
With the trickle on the punt there, goes 51 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 9 now with under half a minute left to go in the first stanza for Monin and company as he peers back to the scoreboard. And wants to throw and does so to the far side across the 15. And the spin out of bounds by Buttermore right there. So we're seeing a lot of Mr. Buttermore Doak in the backfield. Last year he had 1 catch for 9 yards. Already he's usurped that with a couple of catches.
Well, Randy, put that much beef in the backfield. You take Carson Greeson in there, who's a 220-pounder. You put Doak Buttermore in there at 190. You're expecting battering ram kind of football. And what they're doing, they're coming out with a little play action, dumping the ball. And that time, Reynoldsburg came with a blitz right up the middle. Perfect play call by Upper Arlington.
Well, they are running a spread a lot, Jeff, and that's the thing. With the spread, you spread out the defense. It doesn't mean you always have to throw the ball, but it gives you more options. Blitz coming right up the middle, so they'll take it to the outside. Greestock will get up to the 15. Good pursuit of the football to get to the corner first by the Raiders, coming up from the secondary to help make the hit on the play. For Reynoldsburg was big number 21 on the hit, and that is Alex Crump-Woodson. And with that being said, 13 ticks left on the clock here in quarter number 1. And flag on the play. Yeah, this penalty against the Golden Bears. So each team has been guilty of the chop.
Yeah, you know, early in the season, Randy, there's going to be a learning curve for the football players. Let's see if we can hear it. Yep, we didn't get the call, but I can tell you at home, if you're watching, chop block, it'll bring up 2nd down again. Not great field position, and one of the things you don't want to do, Randy, make a mistake down here, obviously, with your back against the wall.
So it's 2nd down, and let's mark the ball back around the 8-yard line. They need about 11 to move the sticks now with 10 seconds and ticking. Let's see if they can get off one more play. First quarter. 1 back now, the backfield behind Monin, and that's Greestock. 3 wide to the top, 1 to the bottom. The 4-man front. Monin, little screen, deflected away, nearly out of the back of the end zone. Great hands that time in anticipation by Reynoldsburg in the person of number 42, Thomas Watson, the guy that plays on the outside of that D-line. With that being said, the first 12 minutes of season number 10 on the CW Columbus in the books, and we have goose eggs on the scoreboard. What a way to start season number 10. Reynoldsburg nothing, Upper Arlington nothing. This is Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus.
Recognized scholar athlete.
Oh.
Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Jamiana Ross is a star athlete for Reynoldsburg High School. She's earned multiple varsity letters for basketball and track. Jamiana has completed many AP courses, including the E-STEM Academy, and carries a 4.2 GPA. She's also a member of the National Honor Society and is a basketball camp counselor. Congratulations to this outstanding Ohio Education Association scholar athlete.
And welcome back to Marv Moorhead Stadium. At the end of one quarter, Upper Arlington and Reynoldsburg scoreless. We are joined now by the executive director of the OHSAA. Hold your applause for Doug Ute, the one and only Doug. And Mr. Ute, it's great to have you here. Let's talk about what's going on with high school football. You work closely, I know, with the Department of Health in the state of Ohio. You have to be happy we've made it this far, correct?
Oh, when you look back 12 months, where we were at 12 months ago and where we're at tonight, what a great setting for a high school football game. Beautiful brand new building sitting behind this stadium. A great crowd here from Upper Arlington and Reynoldsburg, and it's just great to see our student athletes getting to perform in front of this type of atmosphere.
Well, let's talk about that. Everyone's performing now, but a different scenario for high school football. A lot more teams are going to qualify for the playoffs this year, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing we learned from COVID was it's kind of one of the COVID keeper type of things. And we heard a lot from folks who
and hang on just a second. Jeff, action in the end zone.
Yeah.
Tell them what happened.
Bad snap there, Randy. Recovered by Reynoldsburg for a score, touchdown. Watch this on the replay. Again,
it is Deontay Head who comes up with the recovery for the Raiders.
The Upper Arlington did not have a good punt the last time, but the snap was good. This time the snap came back, and the punter unable to handle the football. We'll watch it again on replay. Watch here. Here's the snap. Way high. Can't blame the kicker on this. What you need to do is kick that ball out of the end zone. He couldn't get to it quick enough. There you see the recovery by Reynoldsburg. Touchdown in the end zone. The recovery made by number 5, Deontay Head.
And extra point time now. The snap, the kick, it is up, and the kick is good. And that's, by the way, is a Reynolds roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. And Reynoldsburg gets on the board with the extra point, 7-0. So we mentioned what was going on in the past. We survived COVID, Doug. So now you're in a scenario now you expand the playoffs. But also I know there was no ticket revenue to deal with last year. So you've had to be creative with what you do with the partner schools, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is great tonight. So the ADs can see gates open, communities can come in, start to generate some revenue. But the most important thing is that the student athletes get to play in front of their communities, which they lost last year, and that's the neat thing about tonight.
And there's a small fee per school per sport too, correct?
Yeah, there's a $50 per sport fee that was put in place, and it really hadn't been in place since the mid to late 90s. And so, but these things cost money, and to put on tournaments and that, they're costly, and so, it's just something the organization needed to do.
And the football championships are returning to Canton coming up at the beginning of December, correct?
Oh, we're so excited. I was up to the Hall of Fame game last week, and that place is just outstanding. And we want our student athletes to get off a bus and say, wow. And they're getting an NFL experience. So it's a neat thing.
Looking for an answer here, Doug, across the 30 with the return spinning, up across the 35, up to around the 37-yard line is that time. It is Chris Reynolds on the return. So football is off and running. What do you expect to see in the coming weeks when it comes to the OHSAA?
Well, I think when we're looking at this and your earlier comment about COVID and things like that, it still pops up every now and then and reminds us it's here. It's not going. And so, our schools need to continue to do the safety factors that they've done the past 12 months and make sure. We've had some games canceled this week across the state, and unfortunate things, but we want our schools to continue to practice good safety with their students and the crowds here, and so that we can keep getting our kids these experiences.
Doug Ute is the executive director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. We thank him for his time as Monon rolls to his right, looks, buys some time, guns in the pass, deflected, falls incomplete. Well, thanks for all that you do. Final question, would you rather it be 80 degrees or 8 degrees?
Right now, 8.
That's 80.
Sweat, right? If it were 8, I'd say 80. But, yeah, I mean, and thanks to what you guys do to give our communities this exposure. And we're here where they just, they got a superintendent, Paul Emmerich, and his crew have just planned a great building and a great atmosphere for their community. So it's just great to be here and see this.
And thank you for allowing the birth of Friday Night Rivals 2-2 live games on Friday nights. Let's hope it stays for many years to come.
Thanks for covering the student athletes.
Doug Youth, the executive director of the OHSAA, we appreciate his time. Now keep it on the ground, and a nice gap right up the middle across midfield, and there is Greeson. Again, accelerating through the contact, Jeff, finding the gap, continuing to churn the legs, and getting a huge gain inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, he's not just a load, Randy. He's got the ability to be able to go vertical against your defense, and watch how quickly he's able to hit the hole and get himself going north and south. You've got to make people miss, too. And Woody Hayes used to tell us, be your own blocker, BYOB. It didn't mean that way all the time to all the people, but Woody called it BYOB, be your own blocker, and that means make people miss when you get in the secondary, and that's exactly what Greeson did.
Gain of 35 on the play. 1st and 10 inside the 30 at around the 27-yard line. Blitz from the far side. Mono with a quick slant pass, incomplete inside the 20-yard line. Thought he had his man that time in Mazzaferri, but the ball just barely knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, Chris Mazzaferri was a little late getting to the party here at the football season this year, and he had some lacrosse stuff that he was involved in, but now getting back into the play, wide receiver position. And again, this is a tight window for Simon Monin to try and fit it in. Good defense, I've got to tell you. That was a great job by Teron Spencer, the cornerback, number 34, stepping up and making that play.
So now it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Are they showing blitz again? Looked like they violated the neutral zone almost, and the handoff's going to go to the 25-yard line, and that's a short gain on the play, but great anticipation on defense by Reynoldsburg. Big hit there. Jabari Mitchell, we kind of touched on him earlier, but the guy has just got a great nose for the football. Great anticipation. Last year, 28 solos, 20 assists, 4.5 sacks, 7.5 tackles for loss, had an interception and a fumble recovery. Last year, I believe, wore 35, and now is downsized to number 4. And explain to me why everybody wants to wear a lower number now in football. They always want to go down to a single digit.
It's just cool. You know, I don't know what got people started. Everybody wants to wear those single digits. Thank goodness there's only 9 of them.
4 wideouts, evenly split. Monin from the gun. Sees a little seam. Will he dump it? He's rolling, trying to buy some time. Now throws it downfield and bounces it about 2 yards shy of the intended receiver on the play. Looking for number 10, Charlie Ballou.
They're going to look at that tape when they see this game tomorrow, and they're going to say to the quarterback, take off and run the football. He had a great chance of being able to get the first down or at least put them in better field goal position than they are right now. And Yoakum will go in and try this field goal, and this is from the 33-yard line, Randy. So this is a 43-yard field goal. I got to tell you, this is well within his capacity.
He was 1 of 3 on field goals last year. Ballou, the holder. Ballou's got it. Charlie puts it down. A line drive kick. It is up, and it is no good. It sails wide left. We'll have a touchback with 9:45 left to go. And the Golden Bears stay off the scoreboard. Reynoldsburg gets it back. 7-0.
We talked about mistakes in this football game. In the first quarter, Randy, we had all of the penalties that were the mistakes by Reynoldsburg.
Here's a quick message from First Scores on Fox 28.
First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Spectrum, tonight at 10:45.
What a play as Marquise Gillum comes back to the football, makes the catch from the 41-yard line. After this play, we're going to talk to our sideline reporter, Miles Harris. They'll keep it on the ground on this first down play, and off the right-hand side goes big number 6, Jackson Wilburn. Let's go down to the sidelines right now and Miles Harris. Miles?
Thanks, Randy. As you can see right now, Reynoldsburg is really starting to get some momentum there after that bad punt snap there earlier on as well, and that missed field goal. They're really starting to get the momentum on the road here and get the ball moving here on this offensive side of the ball.
39 yards on that long pass play, Miles, and a short gain on first down. And now Jennings on the keeper to the far side of the field will take the ball inside the 35-yard line and get it down to maybe around the 34. So it'll be a third down. They'll need about 3 to move the sticks one more time as we approach 9 minutes left to go here in the first half. And Mr. Gillum has been involved in one near big play, and that time indeed it was a big play. And we talked about the explosive nature of this Reynoldsburg offense, and I think you're seeing it here. This drive in the second quarter, a team that last year had pretty good balance, but they were able to throw the ball for 177 yards and run the ball for 188. So they average about 365 yards, Jeff, of total offense per game last season.
And that Marquise Gillum, a big part of that too, Randy, is 642 yards receiving, 19.5 yards every time he caught the football. Timeout. Reynoldsburg, Buddy White wants to talk about it, but he added another 600 or 700 yards in kickoff returns and punt returns. So this was a guy that was all everything for the football team a year ago.
And again, size doesn't matter when you have speed, and that's exactly what Gillum does at that 4.3 speed that he's had timed a couple of times this past summer too. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will go down to Miles Harris for the Music Around Coaches Corner to hear from our coaches for their thoughts on the first half. All that and more coming up as we approach halftime in this contest. Week number 1, and again, as Jeff said, he'd like to throw away last season altogether, but we had some exciting games. We'll feature some great moments from some of our contests, not only last year, but throughout the history. We have an archive sense now with what we've done in the past decade here on the CW Columbus, and we'll harken back to the days of Thursday Night Lights and now Friday Night Rivals. And it was good to have Doug Ute on the program too to talk about all the changes that the OHSAA has had to go through. They have had to be a rubber band. They've had to morph and bend and change with conditions that change here in our world pretty much every day. Third down play, they need 3 from the 34.
It's like Gillum's got single coverage here at the bottom of your screen.
And Jennings to boot, passes across the middle, has his man inside the 20, the 15, the 10, and brought down at the 7-yard line. On the catch that time was Donovan Reed. Reed makes the catch, who wore number 80 last year. Again, he downsizes to 12 and gets another first down for Reynoldsburg. And we'll see what happens now at a 1st and goal.
Yeah, good faking in the backfield by quarterback DeJohn Jennings. He got everybody moving to one side, actually threw back across the field as they run up the middle for another score. They're going to go up 2 scores in the game.
Touchdown, Jackson Wilborn on the carry, takes it right up the middle. And once again, we have another Rainless Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. That's ROOF. So Zion Jackson Wilborn, no touchdowns on the ground last year, has one now in this contest, and it's now 13-0.
Boy, great blocking up the middle. Really a good job by the center, Hollis Burton. He's a sophomore, 6'2", 280, or 6 foot 280. In the middle there, you can see the extra point kick is up, and it is good. But Randy, when you're able to run the ball up like that, you got to give some shout out to those guys up front, doing a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
8:39 left to go as Landon Myers adds the PAT. Reynoldsburg up by 2, converted touchdowns, 14-0. We'll take a break here on the CW Columbus. As halftime approaches, be sure to stay tuned for the Capital City Concrete Halftime Show. Miles Harris gives us a preview of Upper Arlington's state-of-the-art new high school, plus scores from around Central Ohio and more coming up in the Capital City Concrete Halftime Show. Get a beautiful new concrete driveway by calling Capital City Concrete 614-371-9886 or visiting capcityconcrete.com. Well, I'll tell you what, stone cold, if you will, has been Reynoldsburg with their big plays in this first half. They're up 14-0. Take a look at some of these statistical leaders for Reynoldsburg. Jackson Wilburn's got 6 carries now for 20 yards and a touchdown. Of course, Gillum has a couple of big catches already in this first half, too. Greeson has got 7 carries for 67 yards. Those are your leading rushers in this contest. But that big pass play helps set everything up for Reynoldsburg. And, Jeff, you have to look at him and say, no, this kid's not going to kill us. He's 5'5". Yeah. But by the same token, if you get by everybody, if you beat everybody else in North America, you're going to be open. And that's what Gillum is able to do. And it's set up by the mind of Dejon Jennings, too, with the great job he does knowing and running that offense.
Well, there's no secret to Upper Arlington that this kid had great skills. The hard part is trying to replicate it in your own practice.
Nice return of some 30-plus yards up to the 43-yard line, backing their way for the last 3. So let's see if that gets the Golden Bears motivated here, as on the return there is Chris Mazzaferi. 33 yards, as we mentioned, on the return with 8:31 left to go.
Right. I want you to think about the starting drives for Upper Arlington in this football game. A couple of punts that Reynoldsburg had actually rolled down inside the 10-yard line, but on both kickoff returns, they have brought it outside of the 40-yard line. You cannot ask for better field position, and now these Golden Bears need to take advantage of it.
1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. So, 2-man tight set to either side of the formation, and Greesock's now going to exit the backfield. Let's see if he gets a quick toss. No. Monon's going to look, roll right, and decide to tuck and get what he can. Get a nice gain on that first down play. Number of options in that play. Had one guy go deep from the outside, the 2 had Greesock on the other side for what would have been probably a backward pass, but Monon that time decided on the side of safety and got what he could and motored out of bounds at the 47.
I don't think Greesock was anything more than window dressing out here. They've just given him a look, and this is quarterback run all the way. If he had an option of being able to throw the ball downfield, he was going to take off. But Lance Thrush, who was the wide receiver over there, opting to block instead of getting into formation to catch the football.
Thrush and Lashutka wide at the top now in this formation on a 2nd down. They need about a half dozen to move the sticks. Readjust in the backfield. Greeson takes a step up and now tilts forward a little bit. Gets the handoff. Looked like he left early and got it up to the 49-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down now as we approach 8 minutes left to go. Carson Greeson, an interesting story. His dad played football for 1 year at Ohio State. Was actually at Boardman High School with some guy named Bernie Kosar. They were like 6-0, one of the top teams in the nation, and the teachers went on strike. They never finished the football season, so you never knew how good they were going to be. As that time, Greeson and company will keep the ball, get it down inside the 40, and get a Golden Bear first down. But we'll see what happens, as there's also a flag on the field at the 36. So I guess it's opportunity missed for the elder Mr. Greeson, and hopefully his son can go ahead and get that opportunity to make it through the promised land in the high school football playoffs, which are going back to Canton this year. So we have an illegal substitution against Reynoldsburg.
I'm going to guess too many men on the field.
Illegal participation is 12 or more players on the field. Substitution infraction is if a sub leaves the field, comes back on. Those are the 2 that are often confused. On a 1st down and 10 from the 39-yard line. Quick pop, has his man underneath inside the 30, and that's Thrush all the way down to inside the 23-yard line. So I think underneath game is working for Upper Arlington. You're only down 2 scores, plenty of time. Cut this down to 1 touchdown and play some defense.
Yeah, they ran a bunch of receivers deep. You can see the play action and then the drag pattern for Thrush. Big target coming across, catches the ball about 5 yards into the defense and able to come up with the first down. They're on a good roll here. Got to take care of the football. Don't make a mistake.
And Thrush, just a junior, by the way, too. 1st down and 10 from just inside the 25. That's where they're going to say he stepped out of bounds to the short side. It is Greeson. Gets to the outside before anybody else. Pushes for the pylon. Does he break the play? Looking for a call. Looking for a call. And we get the touchdown signal with 7:44 left to go. Greeson last year had 10 touchdowns. He gets his first in 2021. As once again, we have another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. And now it's 14-6.
Yeah, this is a wake-up call for the side judge because he was never able to get down the field fast enough. Here's the blow delivered. Let's see if he steps out. Yeah, probably should have been out at the 3-yard line. But again, the side judge did not make it down all the way to be able to make the call. But they get the benefit of the call, and it's a touchdown.
Line judge has a tough call when you get about 2,000 pounds of body coming your way. So the extra point is up and good, and the Golden Bears on the scoreboard thanks to the extra point of Zach Yoakum, who was 19 of 20 last year. And that man takes it in for the touchdown, get the first score in this contest. Takes it in some 25 yards for the score, and now it's a brand new game at 14-7.
Yeah, 10 touchdowns a year ago for this guy, Carson Greeson. And, you know, again, we talk about how he's a beast and how he delivers the ball. He also has great speed.
And we know a Golden Bear that may be happy about that last score.
I understand that the Golden Bears, Upper Arlington High School, is playing Reynoldsburg this weekend as a Golden Bear, and, you know, that's where I got my name, the Golden Bear, from the Upper Arlington Golden Bears. This Golden Bear wants to wish you Golden Bears all the best. Go get them, Bears. Go win that game.
I think everybody should stand during that clip. That was a living legend we were able to get.
That's awesome.
To do that. So we've had one now from Reynoldsburg and Mike Matheny, and then the ultimate Golden Bear from Upper Arlington and Mr. Jack Nicholas. Thank you to both of those folks for their time. And we may have another surprise yet in this contest, so stay around.
Last time I was with Mr. Nicholas, was sitting on the 18th green on a Sunday at the Memorial Tournament.
And you are the starter, are you not? Are you the man there with the announcements there at the first tee?
I do the announcements on the first tee. I also welcome the players as they finish on the 18th, and the amount of time that I get to spend with Jack and Barbara on the 18th is just priceless.
That was a zippity-doo-dah drive there. 5 plays, 57 yards. Only 47 grains of sand came off the clock there. So the return going to start from the 1. Look out. Look at the speed. Is there a gap? That's the key. Can you shut him down? Well, he's going to wiggle his way out to the 30-yard line. You thought you had him at the 18, maybe at the 23, but Gillum all the way out to the 30-yard line for a nice return of 29 yards. Here's the last drive now by the Raiders. There's the bomb downfield, and watch Gillum. The anticipation comes back to the football. Doesn't high point it, just wait for it. And then the pass across the middle. The nice completion there as they get it to Donovan Reed. Takes it inside the 10, and then finally the icing on the cake for Jackson Wilburn to get the score. And that's how they got their second touchdown in this game. So now they've got it from their 30-yard line with a 4 wide out look and a tight end at the top, and the backward pass will get it to the far side of the field. And look, wow, he might be small, but you got to hit him hard. And finally, Gillum gets drilled on the play by Buttermore coming up from the secondary.
You know, it's funny, we talk about football players passing the look test.
Right.
You know, normally it's a guy you walk up to and he's 6'6" and 250, and you say, boy, that guy passes the look test. I had to go get a look at this Marquise guy to see, is he as small as advertised?
Jennings to the weak side, nothing there, including blockers. Well, Miles Harris and I, before the game, went down there and we were kind of scouting out Marquise, and I said, Miles, why don't we go ahead and walk by him? And Miles, I don't know if you remember, you told me how tall you were, right? We kind of just scooted over to see how big he actually was.
I'm about 5'10", and I stood next to the guy and we looked at him. He's got to be like 5'4", 5'5". But I told you, I said, watch his footwork. He's really, really quick with the feet, and you can see him kind of whizzing by defenders here throughout the game tonight.
Well, Miles, I know you're a pretty good athlete. Could you cover him?
No chance. No chance at all.
He's covering him right now from the sideline.
Yeah, I'm sweating just doing that right now.
At least you're honest.
Second down and 11, a loss of 1 on the play by Jennings. Back to throw. 2 steps across the middle. Lobs it. He's got his man, a Span, who gets across the 50 to the 49-yard line. Boy, you don't talk about a soft toss that time. He saw that Joseph was open. Nothing fancy there, just kind of floated the ball right in there. It's hard as a quarterback because, Jeff, so many times you want to throw a fastball, but you got to have the curve, you got to have a knuckler, and got to have a cutter as well, too. And Jennings has mastered the different speeds on a football.
Going out a little bit more huddle offense there as opposed to the hurry up.
Remember, Reynoldsburg had the option and got the ball to start the game. Third down and a long 3. Jennings retreating the wrong way. Now guns downfield, looks, and pass is incomplete. There was contact. Was it before the pass? They're going to say no. That was pretty close as they were looking on the play for Edwards. And Edwards is trying to claim, I think, that he got hit early. He may have a case.
Yeah, that was a dangerous pass, though, from Dejon Jennings throwing this ball late back across the field. You can see the contact coming right there. I think from a timing standpoint, he may have made a little bit of contact there. But I think overall, pretty good no call by the officials. Jack Purcell coming up from that free safety spot.
Mazzaferri back deep for the Golden Bears at the 15-yard line. Just under 6 minutes left to go. Reynoldsburg only had 10 on the field. They burned 2 timeouts already, so they add the 11th guy in the person of Reed.
How about they only had 9?
Ooh, that makes it 10?
He tried to get 2 more on the field. And again, early in the season, I get it. You spend a lot of time trying to get your teams ready, and you can see the special teams coaches over there having the conversation, and that's not a pleasant conversation they're having over in terms of being ready. And the coaches, God bless them, they're working their tails off trying to get these guys on the field.
Well, Jeff, everybody's cutting back nowadays. Comedian, rapper, director, and now daytime talk show host Nick Cannon is bringing you an inspiring and unpredictable hour of fun starting September the 27th when the Nick Cannon Show debuts right here on the CW Columbus weekdays at 2 p.m. It's a nice little suit there he's got going as well, too. Obviously, it pays well. So catch Nick at 2. And now, Reynoldsburg is going to watch Upper Arlington try to catch the ball inside their 20-yard line. If you're the Golden Bears, you're down by a touchdown, but you've got to have a little swagger now after what you did on that last possession because you did it in less than a minute.
Well, no, one of the key things is field position. Now, again, the kicking hasn't been great by Reynoldsburg, but Mazzaferri has not come up and caught either of the punts. At this stage, he's got to shorten himself a little bit and get up there and make sure that he fields his ball so it doesn't roll down inside the 10-yard line.
There's a snap, and look out. They're going to take it around the corner across midfield to the 45-yard lines. So that time, a keeper by Ibrahim Fall, and he got it to the 45-yard line.
This is going to be really, really close, Randy, depending upon where they mark it. They're moving the chains. They're going to give the ball to Reynoldsburg. It's a first down.
Well, you know, with the timeout like that, you're thinking there's no way they're going to run a fake like that. Do you think that was called, or was that Fall on his own?
No, I think it was called. I don't know that he's got the green light back there to make those kinds of decisions, but he takes off, and you can see Upper Arlington caught sleeping a little bit. You know, somebody's got that responsibility on the outside. That was your outside linebacker, Nick Ferrola, who was coming on the pressure.
So the Fall guy with those Spartan-like green shoes gets the first down, and we've got whistles on the field with the ball at the 45-yard line. And delay of game is the call against the Raiders. Again, if the back judge holds up his hand, that means there's 5 seconds to snap the ball. And our back judge today, by the way, is Randy Roseberry. Our referee is Greg Gompf. Our umpire is Brandon Strain. Head linesman is Jason Edler. The line judge is Trey Green. And we mentioned Mr. Roseberry with a great first name, Randy, as the back judge.
Looks like they've got either an equipment issue or maybe some blood on one of the jerseys of a football player. They're taking
That's Colin Ansel.
Colin Ansel.
Chris Reynolds will check in for him.
JV player a year ago, getting the start now at that linebacker spot.
Doing a good job. First down and 15. Jennings wants to go long downfield. Another rocket shot, and he's got his man inside the 5-yard line. The catch is made down there by number 13, and that is Troy Martin, the guy that is the quarterback apparent next year. But what a great wide receiver, great athlete. They had to get him on the field, and Jeff, you can see why.
Well, you can't blame the cornerback, Charlie Paxton, for not playing good defense. How about this pass, though? This is what they like about Dijon Jennings. On target, on time, with the big play. That was outstanding.
47 yards on the pass play. Martin, a young man whose dad played football, actually his granddad played football at Ohio State. He's been playing football since he was in 4th grade. And the scrum, does it take it across the goal line? Yes, James Williams on the carry will take it in. Williams, 5'6", 210, and a guy that carried for 183 yards and 7 touchdowns. He was kind of the short yardage guy last year. He takes it in for another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. And a quick answer by the Raiders.
How about special teams play tonight, Randy? One big mistake by Upper Arlington on snapping the ball. Another big mistake by Upper Arlington not defending the 4th down situation, giving up the fake punt. And that's been the difference in the game.
Like Fall, Myers is a guy that played a lot of soccer in his life, and up for the extra point. The snap, the kick, it is up, and just like that, the answer by the Raiders to make it 21-7 with 5:38 left to go. So we talked about the clash of teams and their cultures, and I think we've seen it here in the first half. Upper Arlington finally getting that methodical drive going to get the score, and then Reynoldsburg a short time later, boom, putting another one thanks to the long 47-yard pass play, and they've made it a 2-touchdown cushion again.
Yeah, they can score from anywhere on the field, Randy, and they've also proven they can score defensively as well. And that's one of the things that makes a championship football team a champion, is being able to score in a variety of different ways.
So with that being said, that was an 8-play, 70-yard drive. Took 2 minutes off the clock. Didn't take long to answer for the Raiders. And they're now up 21-7. Jeff, a big season of high school football. I've got to ask you, will we see Logan's Heroes sometime later on the season, or will we enjoy life?
What did you think? Did you think it was just a Thursday night affair?
I was hoping. I was thinking. Excuse me. Did I say
understand.
That?
No, I can promise you, and I've been getting emails all throughout the offseason from some of our fans.
Jack Nicklaus.
When are we going to have they wanted, you know what they wanted? They wanted preseason Logan's Heroes. And I had to back them down a little bit.
Would it be Logan's Heroes then?
Had to back them down a little bit, make sure they understand that about week 5, I'll give you the 5 best teams in the Central District with the greatest chance, in my opinion, to go deep into the playoffs.
And every week I will disagree with all 5 picks. Fall, y'all, with the boot. There it is. An angular kick. The return's going to start from the 20-yard line. He had a 30-yard return last time. Mazzaferri's going to get it up to the 35, so he'll take it back 15 yards. Golden Bears will get it. For Upper Arlington, you sense they can score, but they got to be able to hold the Raiders. Now, here's the last drive by Upper Arlington. Greenstock taking it outside, rumbling to the sidelines, and then a little toss, soft toss to Thrush, who made something out of that one, got it down to the 25-yard line. And then Greenstock getting close to the goal line near the pylon and getting credit for the touchdown. And that's how they got on the board for the first time.
They just got to stay within the Golden Bear football, and don't make mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make mistakes. They've been pretty much penalty-free in this football game. They've done a nice job as far as that's concerned, but keep mixing it up offensively. Let Simon Monin do his thing at that quarterback spot.
When you can't trade touchdowns either, so the defense has to make a stand as well, too. We talked about the protection that Monin gets, only 3 sacks last year for them, so we'll find out what happens here on this drive. As we want to thank Spencer Smith, the outstanding new athletic director who takes over from a legend, and Tony Pusateri, who just brought us great things to drink as well, too. So thank you. He has been an incredible host. Monin sees the time evaporate, and he goes down at the 31-yard line. Jeffy got pinched towards the inside, and that big number 11 on your screen was the reason why Anthony Mobley, who came shooting over from his defensive end slot. So let's go down to the sidelines. Miles Harris has been kind of patrolling the Golden Bears sidelines. What's going on down there, Miles?
You're starting to see a little bit of urgency here from Coach Buttermore, a little bit trying to tell the team to really stick to the basics here. Like I said earlier on, there was a lot of toss-ups with the penalties and the loose snaps, things of that nature. And he's just trying to tell his team really to keep back to the basics. You see him getting into the huddle a special time. And on the other side, Reynoldsburg, you can definitely see Coach White getting really, really comfortable with his offense in particular. They did that fake punt return, and then you're also seeing the offense open up a little bit more with big plays, things of that nature. So, Randy, there's a lot of things going on down here.
Including a pass attempt to Purcell that was overshot at around the 38-yard line with 4:52 left to go here. And now a 3rd down and long.
Not a great read that time by Simon Monin because he had double coverage down the seam trying to get the ball there to Jack Purcell. Again, that's not in their MO that they want to be throwing the ball deep down the field. It gives them a difficult 3rd and 12 situation.
Let's see what happens here. Monin underneath. That would not have gotten a first down anyway. Pass falls incomplete at the 35-yard line, intended for Lashutka on the play, so it'll be a punting situation. I was looking ahead on the schedule for these two teams. Next week for Upper Arlington, no problem. They've got St. Francis de Sales. And then on the other side for Reynoldsburg, they've got Wayne. And then after that, they have Massillon, Washington.
Yeah, both of these teams have killer schedules. And if I'm not mistaken, that game against DeSales will be played at the University of Toledo. How about that?
And how about last night? Hartley playing Ursuline in a defensive game. 62-58. The Hawks fall in that contest. Hits at the 40-yard line, down at around the 42. So Reynoldsburg will get a nice bounce and get the ball back with 4:41 left to go here in the first half, and up 21-7. By the way, Miles Harris will take a look at some of the scores too, because now that we're live on a Friday night, Jeff, we have that opportunity to see what goes on at some other contests, so we'll check that out too. And by the way, you can share your excitement surrounding the 2021 high school football season with ABC6. You can chime in right now by using your phone to scan the QR code on the screen to upload and share your exciting pictures. It's a quick, easy, and convenient way to join in on the fun surrounding high school football this fall. So get that phone out, get that QR, and get it going. Jennings with a little pressure, finds a little seam, dumps it across the middle. Nice little move outside, and nearly breaking away that time was Donovan Reed. That one step he needed to get there, got one shoe free, but not the other one, but still a nice gain on the play. So pick up about 8. Let's see if they mark it at the 48 or the 49. They can put it at the 49, so we'll call it a gain of 7 on the play.
Marquise Gillum gets a lot of publicity, and duly so, but this Donovan Reed is a really good wide receiver as well.
And how about Troy Martin, too? Just a sophomore.
Illegal procedure. They had some motion up front.
False start is the call against the offense. We're going to try to get our referee's mic working for the second half. So week one, you always get some fun things happening. But I tell you what, speaking of fun things, this facility, they did some updates even to what was already a great facility in Moorhead Memorial Stadium. But the brand new high school, Miles has got a feature on that coming up at halftime. Oh, my goodness. And the neat thing for you, Boots, or excuse me, Jeff, I forget which I was doing here.
Oh, my gosh.
I see a bald guy and I think Auto Smarts.
They're all Boots.
That's right.
Yeah.
8 steps away from the high school is the football stadium. Jennings with time, guns downfield. Pass, incomplete that time. I think Martin had too much time.
Yeah,
Or check that was span.
Looked like Carter Brock may have tipped that football. And again, Dijon Jennings, a lot of time back there, staring down Joseph Span over the middle.
Let's take a look to see if Brock did indeed tip that ball, because Span had time.
Does a good job of stepping into it. Now, I don't think he tipped it, just not able to catch the football.
So it's a third down play now. Big play for the Golden Bear defense, and Reynoldsburg would love to get another first down and just kind of eat up much of that clock here in the first half. Play clock, by the way, down to 6.
Marquise Gillum in the backfield.
He's in the flat right now. They'll dump it to him. Little scatter move to the outside, and still fights. Boy, he will not go out of bounds. Tony Dorsett will go out of bounds.
Yeah.
Marquise Gillum will fight for every inch he can possibly get. And gets out near the 50-yard line, out at around the 48 with 3:40 left to go. Take a look at him on the sidelines now.
Strange part about it is they put him in the backfield. Everybody in Franklin County knows he's going to get the football, and you still can't stop the guy. He's out there making people miss, and look at the second and third effort. He still didn't go down. He went back into his buddies there, and there were a lot of pushing and shoving. But, Randy, that's going to bring up a 4th down and about 4. And how about Reynoldsburg lining up at the 48-yard line to go for it?
We'll see if they stick with that. They do. And Jennings rolls. He's got an opening if he wants to run it, and he just glides ahead across midfield and got the first down. As soon as he got to the tackle on the left side, Jeff, he could see the opening. He said, I'm just going to kind of slither ahead, find that gap, and move the sticks.
You know, I know the future is Troy Martin at that quarterback spot, just a sophomore in the future, but they're going to miss this young man, Dijon Jennings. Just his ability to go out there and not get freaked out in certain situations. 4th down and 4 to go, and just able to go out there and take what the defense has given him, come up with the first down. He's got a nose for that first down marker.
Reynoldsburg last year 57.9 on 4th down conversions, and we have a flag before the start of that play again. Another penalty against Reynoldsburg. Again, another false start. What is that, about 4 or 5 false starts against the Raiders so far in this contest?
Yeah, they've had some difficulty, especially when they're going in the hurry up, Randy. When they've been getting in the huddle, everybody is on the same page. I think it's just one of those things early on in the football season, trying to get everybody together. It takes a very experienced football team to be able to go that fast.
7 penalties now for 45 yards on the Raiders. So mark it back 5. It'll be 1st and 15 as we approach 3 minutes left to go in the first half, and the Raiders up by 2 touchdowns. Jennings, nothing to his right and even less to his left as he gets knocked down back inside the 40-yard line. Hit made on the play to finish it off by Nicholas Farola, the outside linebacker who makes his presence known. Last year was in on a solo tackle, a guy that's 5'10", 196, and a junior.
Well, Farola was one of those guys on that defense to let the dog out the back door when they went for it on 4th down, and this time he was not going to be stopped. He was able to go in there and make the play and sack the quarterback. Good job by number 16.
2nd down and a furlong. They need about 24 for a first down now with 2:22 left to go. And a floating snap from the gun. Jennings trying to make something happen, rolling to the outside. Will tuck. That play looked out of sync from the beginning because once the snap floated back, Jeff, Jennings didn't know exactly what was going on. Almost looked like there was going to be another false start, too.
So much of the timing that goes on when that ball is snapped back there to the quarterback, especially trying to, get that motion and stuff that they've been doing in practice all the time. And this one just wasn't ready. Looked like a little motion at the top. They were able to get away with it, but at the very beginning there was so much pressure up the middle that Dijon Jennings really never had an opportunity. And that's going to bring up Randy 3rd and about 24 yards for a first down.
Yeah, Reed is wide to the bottom of the set. To the top, no goes 2 wideouts. And let's always look to see where Gillum is on the play. They've got 2 guys on a little center screen, if you will, across the 45 to midfield to the 45, the 40, and knocked down at the 37-yard line. Troy Martin did a good job of weaving and maneuvering his way across the field and getting so near the sticks. They needed 24, and they picked up about 23.
Yeah, that's that jailbreak screen where you just drop somebody on the inside, and Yeah, this is unacceptable from a defensive standpoint to not be able to keep that play in front of you and be able to make the play.
And they'll go for it on 4th down, and Jackson Wilburn will have the first down. Takes it right up the middle of the far hash, and will move the sticks the second time now. Jeff, they've converted on a 4th down on this drive.
Well, you wonder if that big offensive line that Reynoldsburg have is beginning to wear down Upper Arlington's defense out there. Again, Hollis Burton, the center, at 280. Caleb Turner, the right guard, at 332. Dorian Pollard, the small guy, on the left side at 240.
Jennings looking long and downfield for Spann, and pass incomplete. I almost thought Spann was breaking one way and the pass was going the other, but he did a good job of adjusting to the football. And again, he's got a good frame, so you put the ball up, and big number 14, who stands about 6'3.5", has a chance to make a play.
Yeah, one of the things that defenders have got to do is they've be able to get deep enough to be able to high point the football. That time the defenders were still going back and not being able to jump and get up there and defend the football. Very fortunate that didn't go for a score.
1:40 left to go. Remember, the Raiders are out of timeouts now. Got a 2nd down and 10 from the 27. And Jennings doesn't like the left side, decides to go conservative to the right, has the 15, the 10, the 5, and undercut at around the 3-yard line, and will have a 1st and goal for the Raiders with just over 90 seconds left to go in the first half.
Well, I talked a little bit ago about letting the dog out the back door, and that's exactly what happened right here. This is all going to the left, and then your experienced quarterback decides to throw the brakes on and go back to the short side of the field. Touchdown-saving tackle at the very end, and there's a push right up the middle.
Quickly, it is James Williams trying to do what he did on an earlier drive and push it through the scrum, and got it inside the 2 to the 1-yard line. And boy, if you're Reynoldsburg, what a perfect ending this could be the first half. Drain that clock as much as you can. Don't snap it again until under a minute left, maybe under 50 seconds left. Try to get one more touchdown and give Upper Arlington almost no time left in the first half and go up by 3 scores.
Again, no timeouts remaining for the Raiders.
And it gets by Jennings. Can he fall on it? Back at the 14-yard line.
Now, they may have some difficulty getting themselves lined up, Randy, and being able to get a playoff here. Jennings needs to make sure that he hustles up and gets his offense in the huddle or on the line of scrimmage. Clock down to 43.
A.J. Lash, the offensive coordinator, 8th year with the program, already signaling in the play. He used to be a quarterback at Heber Heights back in the 90s. He's got the play out there, and it's 3rd down and goal from near the 14-yard line. Half a minute left to go in the first half. Flag on the play. It looked like a receiver left early. We'll see. And Jennings rolling, looking, tucking, going down, but there's a flag as well, too, with 15 seconds left to go.
Boy, if you're Upper Arlington, you almost don't want the penalty because that will stop the clock.
There is a penalty mark on the play.
We'll see what the penalty is. It's a sideline warning against Reynoldsburg. So now,
holy cow,
I assume you attempt the field goal?
It would appear. Now, again, that clock's going to start running, Randy, and Reynoldsburg's got to be aware of the fact.
They are. Fall is in there already. Abraham, with 7 seconds left to go, attempt a 32-yard field goal. 3, 2, they flip back the snap. The kick, it is drilled and blocked. Just blocked. It went right in the midsection of the first Golden Bear to come through at the 25-yard line, coming to the sidelines. That was number 20 that actually looked like he took in the midsection. That was Charlie Paxton, who blocked the field goal attempt.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been there in the first place, Randy. They had the ball down inside the 2-yard line, goal to go, and you can see they're totally unblocked, coming in to be able to keep those 3 points off the board.
So,
Paxton.
What a first half for Reynoldsburg, as they take a 2-touchdown cushion into the break. But again, Jeff, you mentioned they shot themselves in the foot a number of times. They could have had a larger lead in this contest than 2 touchdowns. So with that being said, Reynoldsburg will go into the break saying, we're happy we're up at the break, but we should be doing even better than we are right now, with a margin of 21-7 here in this contest after 2 quarters of play.
Yeah, and I think Upper Arlington's got to feel pretty fortunate, Randy, that they didn't have that extra score put on them.
So Reynoldsburg last year 4-4 in the campaign. Upper Arlington at 3-5. What a way to start the season. The first of 10 games will bring you on Friday nights here on the CW Columbus, and it lived up to its billing. Upper Arlington going for a more controlled style of football. On the other side, you had Reynoldsburg with that big play capability, trying to exploit the speed of a Gillum or even maybe a Martin or a Span downfield, and Reed as well too, and they were able to do that in some timely running up the middle as well too. Williams with a touchdown. 21-7. Let's go down now to Miles Harris, who's standing by with the head coach of the Raiders.
Randy, Coach, not the way you necessarily wanted to end the half, but you guys got some momentum going in the second quarter. How do you keep that momentum going into the second half?
Well, first of all, we got to get watered up. We got some guys that are the heat's getting to them a little bit, so we got to do a much better job of making sure we stay hydrated. The kids, they have the enthusiasm. We have guys that are making plays out there, guys that we expect to make plays. And, defense has some good stops. We just got to keep it going, because if we keep it going, I think we'll be in good shape. We can't let up.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's approaching halftime now. Stick around for the Capital City Concrete halftime show. Miles will give us a preview of Upper Arlington's state-of-the-art new school. Plus, we'll get scores from around Central Ohio and more coming up in the Capital City Concrete halftime show. 21-7, Raiders on top of the Golden Bears. We'll take a break. Week number 1 of season number 10 of exciting football. This is Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus.
Welcome to the Capital City Concrete halftime show. I'm Miles Harris. Now, the 2021 school year is definitely bringing some excitement around Upper Arlington with the opening of their brand new high school. Now, I got a chance to walk through that high school with Principal Andrew Theotto, and as you'll see, this place has something for every student. Out with the old and in with a brand new high school in Upper Arlington.
Square footage-wise, I think we're around 410,000 square foot.
The debut of the new state-of-the-art school was years in the making. Millions of dollars in donations, along with the city bond issue passed in 2017. The new high school adds about 100,000 square feet.
We've added collaborative spaces in our academic wings. We've added private huddle spaces that we didn't have in the building. We have teacher workspace that we didn't necessarily have in the old building.
The added space allows the high school to also add courses through their research and design department. So, for example, instead of students seeing a new video scoreboard in the natatorium, there's a course available to help students learn how to operate one. Now, with those opportunities, Theodore reminds himself, his staff, and the students how the community invested in their future.
We are just very fortunate to be in this building, and that none of us are entitled to it, nor are we deserving of it, but we're just very fortunate and thankful that our community decided to build a new high school and to build it at such a high level. And so we're just very thankful and just gracious.
And a really neat place and exciting opportunity. Now, we want to wish the students at not just Upper Arlington, but also at Reynoldsburg High School the very best this school year. Coming up after the break, we're going to go ahead and give you scores from all around Central Ohio. This is the Capital City Concrete halftime show. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and let's go ahead and go through some scores that are happening around Central Ohio. Worthington-Kilbourne is absolutely dominating Walnut Ridge, 36-0. Now the next matchup we have is Westerville South. They have a lead over Olentangy, 22-7 in the second quarter there. Marion Franklin and both Central Crossing, they're both tied at the half at 6 apiece. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Moorhead Memorial Stadium. At the break, Reynoldsburg controlling things here in week number 1, 21-7. In week number 1 of high school football action. Glad to have you aboard as we go high atop the press box. I'm Randy Reinhardt alongside Jeff Logan. Entertaining first half, especially if you're a Raider fan, but Upper Arlington will get the ball back to start the second half.
Yeah, plenty of mistakes in this football game. Kind of what you would expect in week 1 of the season. Reynoldsburg looked a little sloppy at the beginning, but man, are they explosive with big plays.
Oh, speaking of plays, let's take a look at some of the big plays in the first half. Wasn't offense, it was defense and special teams were key early on. Snap a little high for Upper Arlington. Deontay Head falls on it for a touchdown, and Reynoldsburg is up 7-0. Then Upper Arlington trying to answer with a 43-yard field goal and just sails a little bit wide left. And that's where we stay. And then Zion Jackson Wilburn with the burst right up the middle, Jeff.
Yeah, he was a stud in the first half, able to make some big plays running the football. And here you see Greeson coming out of the Upper Arlington backfield with their rushing score, gets it down for the score.
And Ibrahim, green shoes fall, we will call him. Watch the move, takes it around the right side and makes it look easy. Glides to the first down to keep the drive alive for the Raiders in the first half. And then the 1-2 punch, James Williams, the short yardage specialist, backs his way into the end zone for a score for Reynoldsburg.
Yeah, total domination right there in the second quarter by Reynoldsburg. And Randy, if not for a big stop by and a mistake by Reynoldsburg there at the end of the first half, it might have been worse. There you see the total numbers. The score 21-7, obviously. Total yards very much in favor of Reynoldsburg. The real stat that I see on there that's telling is the fact that Upper Arlington only able to throw for 28 yards in the first half.
Your Capital City Concrete halftime show with a lot of information from the first 2 quarters of action. It should be a lot of fun for the second half as well, too. Upper Arlington gets the ball to start the second half. In the locker room, Coach Buttermore is going to be talking about, I think, the fundamentals as well, too, because we know that Buddy White was upset with some penalties that he had with the false starts, and I think the special teams are a key for the Golden Bears to make a comeback in the second half.
Well, we heard Miles talking with the coach at the halftime. He's concerned about his team's fitness in terms of hydration, being able to go out there. We don't want to see a bunch of kids cramping up, but you wonder if maybe the heat might be getting to Reynoldsburg a little bit, and if Arlington can take advantage of it.
Are you ready for 10 weeks of football?
Let's get it going, right?
Are you ready for a second half? What a week number 1 this has been. Should be a lot of fun. Stick around for the second half of this contest as Upper Arlington trails Reynoldsburg by a count of 21-7. This is week number 1 of a great season of high school football. Next week, more great action. Gahanna and Groveport. Stick around all season right here. We'll take a break on the CW Columbus. And welcome back to Marv Moorhead Memorial Stadium. 21-7 Reynoldsburg over Upper Arlington at the half. Time now for a coach's interview as part of our Music Go Round Coach's Corner. Let's go down to the sidelines and Miles Harris. Miles.
Thanks, Randy. Coach, what was your message to the team here coming out of half?
Well, we can't play that kind of football. That's sloppy and give up 2 special teams plays and 2 long pass plays against a team that good. I mean, we're on the wrong end of the score, and that's because of those big plays.
Awesome. And really, how do you kind of keep things composed here? A lot of penalties there earlier on, a lot of false starts. Is that just week 1 jitters, or?
Some of it is, but it's just poor execution. I mean, the bottom line is we need to be better now. We can't, like I said, we play a really tough schedule, starting with Reynoldsburg, and you can't beat good teams playing like that.
Awesome. Randy, back to you.
Miles, thank you very much. As we get ready for the start of the second half, a lot of activity at a high school football game at halftime, and that includes the entertainment for the fans, be it with food at the concession stand or maybe the lovely tunes offered up by the marching bands as well, too, at halftime. We're so thankful for so many great musicians. In fact, you are looking at one of the premier marching ensembles in the state of Ohio. The Reynoldsburg Raider Marching Band was performing earlier, and now this is the Upper Arlington High School Marching Band doing a great job. Music sponsored by Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. Music Go Round is ready to help you with all your instrument needs at any of their locations at 2630 Bethel Road and Gahanna inside the Stone Ridge Plaza. So congratulations to both bands as you check out the action here from the Upper Arlington High School Marching Band, part of the Music Go Round entertainment here in this contest. You know, Jeff, we were looking at some of the stats in the first half. It's really interesting to see the balance for Reynoldsburg at wide receiver already. They have 4 different receivers with multiple catches and at least 33 yards in that first half. So they were spreading the wealth around, if you will, in that first half, too. And rushing yards, we should mention, too, the Greensocks already over the century mark, 10 carries, 106 yards in that touchdown. And for Upper Arlington, the receivers, Thrush has 1 catch for 14 yards. Monin was 4 of 12 passing as well in that first half. But Reynoldsburg had, Gillen with 3 catches for 58 yards, Spam 3 for 49, Reed 2 for 33, and Martin 2 for 69. And throwing the ball, Dijon Jennings was 10 of 15 for 208 yards, and also he carried it 11 times for 54 yards in that first half.
Yeah, that tells you cannot key on just one of those receivers downfield. You can't double team one of them and leave somebody else open. Because there's so many good receivers on that football team. Jennings' numbers are really solid. 10 out of 15, as you mentioned, for 208 yards. Mana needs to get better throwing the football. They've got to be able to find some receivers down there. Only 4 out of 12. And, Randy, they're nowhere near having to hit the panic button if you're Upper Arlington. Now, this first drive when they come out in quarter number 3 is going to be pretty telling about the attitude of this football team. Speaking of Coach Justin Buttermore, and I'm sure that he has spent some time with them guys talking about the fact that this season is going to be a grind. They have a very, very difficult schedule when you look at the fact that, as you mentioned, they've got going into the future weeks, DeSale, Springboro, Westville Central, Central Crossing, Bradley, Liberty, Orange, Kaufman, and Davidson.
And don't forget, at the end of the game, Jeff and I will select the Zambezi Bay player of the game. That's right, for their haunting performance on the field tonight. And if you are looking for a frightfully fun time, be sure to check out Zambezi Bay, debuting this fall at the Columbus Zoo starting September 17th. Who will it be? Mr. Greeson has been so effective for the Golden Bears, but his team is down by 2 touchdowns, but they get the ball back to start the second half. He takes it in from 25 yards. But how about Jennings and the job that he has done? Finding the opening, sometimes going long, sometimes going underneath, but finding the guy and also carrying it on the ground as well, too. Who's it going to be? We'll have to find out at the end of this contest who becomes the Zambezi player of the game. So Zambezi Bay, player of the game, is coming up at the end of the 4th quarter, so check that out too. Some good long passes there. And that's Reynoldsburg. A couple years ago when you saw them for the first time on a 3rd and short, you go, why are they throwing the ball?
Yeah.
The reason is because they can.
Yeah, they do a good job of getting their athletes out in open areas where they can get the ball to them. But the guy that really makes this go is the quarterback, Dijon Jennings. A guy that has played deeply for this football team for 4 years. Last year, 80 out of 150 passing, 1,394 yards, 18 touchdowns. Randy, they were 4-4 last year during the regular season. They went on to the playoffs and able to be able to get a playoff win for them as well, which I thought was important. Remember that they beat Lancaster as a rematch game in the playoffs. We're able to come up with a big win against them, 53-19, before they lost to Darby in the playoffs last year, and that score was 31-30, or they might have been well deep into the playoffs. This team was maturing at the right time.
And, coming up in a couple of weeks, too, we've got Jonathan Alder and Bloom Carroll, two teams that made it, one to the championship game, one to the Final Four, too. So we've got some small schools that are powers as well, too, coming up on our schedule this year. Reynoldsburg's going to kick it off. Upper Arlington, remember, do they have that sense of urgency? Are they focused on special teams and to prevent the big pass play? Coach Buttermore was talking about that. We'll find out early what they can do on offense here in the second half, and the kick return is going to start from the 19-yard line up across the 30, and Mazzaferri is going to get it up to around the 31, then be spun down from there. Interesting transition, too, between halftime and start of the second half. Night has fallen upon Central Ohio as well, too, so these guys get a chance to really experience nighttime football for the first time this season. A great panoramic view of what's going on here at Marv Moorhead Stadium. Some additional touches to this great facility, which was already stellar, of course, the site of some state championship performances by Upper Arlington in the past in 66 and 67 and 68, and most recently in 2000 under Darrell Main. There you see the century mark that we alluded to for Carson Greestock in the first half, and that one score from 25 yards out. They've got it 1st and 10 market officially at the 30-yard line, and he's got it, and he's got a gap, and he's got the speed and the strength to maneuver across midfield all the way down to the 47. Just like that, picks up 23 on the first play.
You might remember this is the way the first half started, with Greestock coming out of the backfield like a bullet being shot out of a gun, just right up the middle. And this is a guy that will fool you with his speed. Look how quickly they get the inside. Great trap block inside by the offensive line, and Greestock doing a good job of keeping his wide base and getting them across the 50-yard line.
They're going to cheat it back a yard, mark it at the 48, so we'll call it a gain of 22 instead. Some 30 seconds into the second half. 1st and 10 from the 48 of the Raiders now. They're showing an outside linebacker blitz, and they hand it off to Greestock, who kind of stumbles forward to around the 45-yard line. Little move to his left, then to his right. He'll pick up about 3 on the play, testing the interior of that Reynoldsburg defense. So what is your thought about the Reynoldsburg defense as well, too?
Well, I've been impressed with the way that they've been able to keep Upper Arlington kind of in front of them, and I like their front four. I think they do a great job. Thomas Watson up there, Marcel Burnett, Keyshawn Slaughter, Anthony Mobley doing a good job. Those 4 guys putting their hands in the dirt.
And the ball is free, and the Raiders have it at the 49-yard line.
No way the quarterback was ready for the ball. It got snapped. The ball just laid there on the ground. And Reynoldsburg comes up with another big play. And this is exactly what Justin Buttermore was in flames over when he spoke with Miles coming out of the first half.
Take a look. It's the shutdown end. Anthony Mobley, number 11, near side, who comes up with the football. Monin not ready for it. And there's Mobley.
Monin was changing the play. And that's just miscommunication. Watch this. He's stepping up to be able. This is a change of play. Going to communicate. The ball comes up, smacks him right in the face. And good heads-up play by Mobley, able to come up with a fumble recovery. And all of a sudden, Reynoldsburg is in business.
And with that, we pick up a Home Appliance Solutions first down here in quarter number 3. Coming back the other way, an option pass, maybe, yes. At the last minute, the pass is thrown downfield and incomplete. Looking for Jennings on the play. Throwing the ball was Troy Martin, the guy that is going to be the quarterback apparent in the future. So they try a little razzle-dazzle on their first offensive play of the second half to no avail. Reynoldsburg looking for a flag as Jennings went from quarterback to being a wide receiver.
Yeah, double reverse with a throw at the end. You can see here, trying to set it up and make it happen. Having to throw off the back foot. Probably fortunate this ball didn't get intercepted. There was no interference there. Both players were hand checking each other. Not a chance they're going to call interference there.
Jennings and Gillen and Martin all having a hand in that play, but it's still just 2nd down and 10. Again, dump across the middle. The pass is complete, and guess who? This time, Jennings and Martin play catch, and a gain on the play, but then we'll mark it back a couple yards as he gets tackled around the 48-yard line. So they reverse what we saw on the other play. This time it's Jennings to Martin, who now looks a little tender as he comes up.
Well, those are the guys they worry about. They got the stamina to be able to continue for 4 quarters, and 69 yards receiving in the first half, and another big play for Martin.
Jeff, how did you get conditioned for that first game, knowing it could be very sultry at night?
And it really started back in the summer. I mean, before football pads went on, you had to make sure you were doing all the training.
And the hit made right at the 50-yard line. Good pressure by the Golden Bears. And the attack in the person of big number 88 for Upper Arlington to make the hit on the play. That's John Malman, a guy that can play as an outside guy in the line or as a linebacker and also as a tight end. He comes shooting through right there and gets Jennings from behind to make the hit to force a fourth down. And this time, I think they will punt.
Well, I promise you the special teams of Upper Arlington is wide alert now to the fake punt. Single back. Mazzaferri back at his own 20.
Low snap. And Fall's going to run for his life again and take it out of bounds. I think he panicked because he dropped the handle and he had plenty of time still to get that punt off.
Look at the conversation going on with special teams coaches like, excuse me, what was that? The shoes look good, but the play was awful.
Take a look one more time.
A little bit of a low snap, but one that should have been handled. No question about it. Taken off here, and the one thing you can't do is just quit and run out of bounds. I mean, my goodness.
And we have another former Golden Bear rooting on their team.
Hi, this is Bev D'Angelo, and I'm an Upper Arlington girl, so you know what that means. I'm going to be rooting for the Upper Arlington High School Golden Bears tonight when they play Reynoldsburg. Now, I wouldn't be a good sport if I didn't say, hello, Reynoldsburg, and good luck, but hey, you got my heart, Golden Bears. So let's go. Let's fight. Let's win. Tonight, go Bears!
It worked! Beverly D'Angelo is the rabbit's foot as they find Buttermore down the sidelines for a long pass. There's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. And just like that, they get the answer. Beverly, a former cheerleader at Upper Arlington, she still has the magic touch.
How about that? See, got him going. Here's the play. You missed it while the interview was going on, but wide open out of the backfield is Buttermore. You do not expect a running back to be that deep in the secondary. Coach's son makes the play. Great throw by Simon Monin. And here's the extra point try.
44 yards on the pass play. A chance to make it a one-touchdown game. The snap. The kick, it is up, and we are at 21-14. What a turn of events. Just a couple plays ago, Reynoldsburg had the ball with momentum near midfield. Then all of a sudden, on a drop of the snap of a punt, the punter runs out of bounds, the short field, and Upper Arlington with Monin looking, finding Buttermore down the sidelines, making the catch over the shoulder and getting through two defenders, actually kind of scissored them, and Doak takes it in for the touchdown.
Excellent job. Great execution. Great play call by the coaches. And Simon Monin delivering in the stretch as he had a wide open receiver, the coach's son going down the sideline.
And that is the definition of a kid that's football smart. A coach's kid. He likes sports and math. He has a great, we always talk about football IQ. He is off the chart with what he can do and loves math. And his brother Bo plays football at Ohio Wesleyan, and I think Doak is slated to play on the next level as well too, because you want those guys that are omnipresent, that can play everywhere. And we know that Buttermore can play as a linebacker, he can play as a defensive back, and also as a running back, and apparently as a wide receiver as well too. So congratulations to him. Makes it a one-touchdown game now in this contest.
Well, we were almost concerned about wondering if Upper Arlington was even going to have a pulse after that mistake, snapping the ball back into the quarterback's face. But they come back and they make the big play.
And there's the kick. We'll have a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Reynoldsburg. And we play just about 3 minutes in the second half. Next week, hottest Friday night rivals will be coming to you live from Groveport Madison High School when it's the Cruisers playing host to the Gahanna Lincoln Golden Lions. It all starts right here on the CW Columbus Friday at 7. That's why it's called Friday Night Rivals. Little lesson there.
We talked about some of the notables that are here. We've seen them on TV tonight. Jack Nicklaus, Beverly D'Angelo, Mike Matheny.
You. Quick pop to the far side of the field. Little blocker out front there. And that'll get a ball up to around the 25-yard line. Just guess who is there to come up with a football.
Also ran into a couple of other former Ohio State players. Greg Lashutka, who's the grandfather of Kuiper Lashutka, was a Ohio State captain, served as a mayor of Columbus for a while.
Two Lashutkas on the roster.
Yeah, ran into Judd Groza as well. What a great tight end for Ohio State. And, of course, Drew Basil is on the coaching staff, a kicker at Ohio State of the coaching staff for Upper Arlington.
Gillen with the catch goes out of bounds, and also that's the second sideline warning, so we'll assess the penalty against the Golden Bears of 5 yards up to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 from there, Jeff.
Well, it's week 1 for everybody, including the coaches.
So from the 31 for Jennings and company to the far side, the quick pop, and again, they go to the same side of the field and get it across the 35-yard line. And again, it is Marquise Gillum making the catch. And that is a little guy who can make the catch in the open field. But you got to say that he's durable, too. And I think we're seeing in the first cramping scenario, perhaps of the evening now, is Colin Ansel, one of the linebackers for the Golden Bears, is getting some attention along the far side from the Reynoldsburg Traders.
We expected to see this with the heat being the way that it was, and a lot of players playing both ways, and this is just one of those things that they're going to have to work through here in quarter number 3 and quarter number 4.
Jeff, I was always told bananas. Did you ever eat bananas beforehand?
I think it's potassium. I think that certainly helps, but the best is water. I mean, it's just total hydration, and it can't be the hydration that you do just before the game or at halftime. It has to have started on Monday.
Now a word from our good friends at Home Appliance Solutions.
Turn your appliance shopping into a positive experience by coming to Home Appliance Solutions.
There are so many products out there. What do I buy and when do I buy it? And so we can walk you through that process and spend as much time as you want. We have an in-house delivery service. So our delivery team are going to be an extension of the sale and make sure that your appliance is delivered on time and installed correctly for you.
Home Appliance Solutions, 2 convenient locations in Columbus and Hilliard.
We've got 8:52 left to go in the third quarter. 21-14. Upper Arlington trails Reynoldsburg right now. And on a running play around the left side, up across the 35 to the 37, maybe out to the 38. Great job by the Golden Bears defense to string that out, as that time on the carry, big number 6 was Jackson Wilborn, and helping to make the hit, Mr. Buttermore, who's playing on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there again, great football IQ, being able to get out there, move laterally, make the play, coming from that inside linebacker, or excuse me, that strong safety position. You know, he talked about getting on a roll early for his football team, talking about Doak Buttermore, and he's certainly helping his team right now.
And they'll keep it on the ground again. This time Jennings on the keeper across the 40-yard line. Up to the 45. He's got a first down. Well, we talked about being a very warm and moist evening out there. And Miles Harris, you're down there in the middle of everything. What's going on with all the cramping that's starting to appear here in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that big plays are happening here, especially as Upper Arlington's trying to gain that momentum here. But you're also seeing a lot of players head over to the water. You see a lot more stretching down here on the sidelines, especially after that big touchdown play. The coaches were really excited. They said, great job, but hit the water right after that.
Yeah, this time they do a quick hit to the outside. In the breadbasket, it goes to number 13, Troy Martin, with a short gain on the play. I mean, can you really do anything now? Once you start cramping, Jeff, aren't you kind of trapped in that?
Yeah, it really is. You got to make sure you get your number 2s ready to get into the football game. Substitution coming in for Upper Arlington now at the linebacker spot.
And look at the gap off the left side. Now cutting it back to the other side, inside the 35, all the way down to the 31-yard line. Pretty play of room that time for Zion Jackson and Wilburn to traverse and get a nice gain all the way down to the 31. Another first down for the Raiders as quickly they come up to the line of scrimmage. A gain of a total of 14 on the play. On the ground they go again, and they'll push the pile inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. You know, the one thing I would like to see changed in high school football, Jeff, we've alluded to this in the past, is the scrum play, where they allow the play to continue when you get 9 guys clustered together, and the
pushing the pile.
Pile is still moving, so they're blowing. I'm just waiting for somebody to get undercut. I mean, there's one new rule this year. It has to do with, you know, going low to block, but I'm just afraid that if we have more of those, we're going to start to see more injuries, too. Second down and 8 from the 29-yard line. Jennings sees nothing to the left, goes to the right, has a man underneath who remembered everything but the football, as Troy Martin says, can I get a do-over?
Yeah, blown coverage there, wide open Troy Martin, the sophomore. He's had a big night tonight, Randy. A lot of catches, that time unable to bring the football down. Let's watch closely here. Ball looked like it was thrown on time and pretty much on target, took his head off the ball, and that's a sophomore mistake. He'll get better.
And then it was third down. You know, you sense that Reynoldsburg has been controlling this game, but by the same token, you look at the scoreboard, the difference is only 1 score.
Yeah, I think Upper Arlington very fortunate that this isn't a runaway at this stage, and I think they can certainly put themselves in a position. It looks like quarterback Dijon Jennings took his helmet off. He's got to come out of the game.
That's right. So let's see, what do you do here? Do you slide Martin over then to quarterback? Yep.
Got a restart of the play clock, too. Interesting.
Troy Martin is going to move back to quarterback, then the wide receiver. And roll and look and try to stay in bounds at the 31-yard line. Little dance move there. So he will lose a couple on the play with 6:54 left to go. Now Jennings will check back in.
Yeah, it looked like it was an equipment issue for Jennings. Took the helmet off. Has obviously got to leave the field when you take your helmet off. Able to come back onto the field as 4th down, Randy, and long way. This is clearly 4-down territory for the Reynoldsburg Raiders.
Yeah, the loss of 2 puts it back at the 31-yard line, so they'll need 10 to move the sticks one more time. So Jennings is back out there to run the show. They're going to overstack the bottom of this formation with Gillum over to the near side. Also, they've got Edwards and Span. And Jennings straight back. Looking long, has a man downfield inside the 10. Caught him in stride with a pass and a touchdown and a flag at the end of the play. But that was either for a collar or for a face mask, one of the two. So the touchdown catch is made by Edwards. And there you go. There's another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. And we'll wait to see to make it official on the call against Upper Arlington. But a flag is right at the goal line. Indeed, that is the case.
Talked about those 4 big receivers in the first half. Gillum, Spahn, Reed, and Martin. We didn't include Javion Edwards in there. And all of a sudden, Javion Edwards steps in and makes the big play. Here's the call. Personal foul, face mask.
So count the touchdown. It's 27-14. And awaiting the extra point attempt of Landon Myers. The guy last year who was 26 of 33 on extra points. And look at his size. Do you know what he's listed as? The size of my left leg.
Not much.
Yeah. He's listed at 110 pounds. He's smaller than Gillum. There's the kick. It is not stylistic. But bitch by golly, well, it's good for an extra point, and it is now 28-14. 6:47 left to go. Third quarter. Will Upper Arlington find an answer? You will find out when you come back to Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College, right here on the CW Columbus. We just saw a great moment here at Upper Arlington High School, and we've seen so many great ones in the last decade, including this one that really involved one of the teams in this contest here tonight.
Here on the CW Columbus.
All right, we'll see what they have up their sleeves. You almost wonder if it's some kind of trick play with a hook and lateral or something. They need 25 yards or a play that carries a penalty with a first down.
Blitz coming.
And he's going to throw long downfield in the middle of the field. There are 4 people back there. 3 are Raiders, and it's picked off by Mershawn Rice. Rice coming back the other way up across the 20-yard line, still on his feet across the 30-yard line. Rice to midfield. Rice with only linemen to beat, and Mershawn Rice is going to take it the distance of the football field with no flags down for a touchdown with 4:11 left to go. Now there is a flag. 99 yards for Mershawn Rice, who made history a number of times when wearing that Raider uniform. So congratulations to Mershawn Rice. That was a big play against the Golden Gales from a few years ago.
Wearing that number 1, the same number that quarterback Dijon Jennings wears. And
is that a number you have to earn, do you think?
Boy, I'll tell you what, you better be good if you're putting number 1 on.
Amen.
I swear, I mean, you better be good if you tell the coaches you want to wear number 1.
That's why I wore 114. The return going to start from the 18 and end at the 19-yard line. Little angular pooch kick that time, and it's going to be returned for about 1 yard on the play by big number 32, Ned Neely. Now here's the touchdown on the pass play one more time. Jennings, 3 to the left, but 1 to the right, looks downfield and catches a man in stride in Javion Edwards for the touchdown.
Again, you can't have a receiver that wide open, Randy, in your secondary, running wild back there, and the face mask right at the tail end of the play was inadvertent. Certainly not a aggressive play by any stretch, and but the call was right.
But Jeff, with that being said, there's still a lifetime left in this game. We even not even played half of the third quarter. So Monin and company making sure we're all on the same page with the snap. Blitz right up the middle. Middle linebacker comes on the plate, leaves a gap for Greenstock, who exploits it for 20, 25, 30 yards. Again, you live by the blitz, sometimes you die by the blitz.
This kid is special, a little bit slow getting up there over on the sideline. I don't think it's a cramping situation. He went down on his shoulder, Randy. Let's watch the tail end of the play. Again, great execution by that offensive line. Really nice blocks up inside. And you can see that this kid is special. Let's see at the tail end of the play. There he goes down on that right shoulder. Let's see if Greenstock has got to come off. He does, and here he is working his way to the sidelines.
Again, he got it on the shoulder, and also if you look, the tackler for Reynoldsburg had him around the throat then too. The hand was a little high as he slipped down towards the turf, so a couple of reasons why he might be sliding off the field, and they want to take a look at him real fast. 1st and 10 though after the gain of 31. Greenstock now 13 carries, 161 yards. 1st and 10 from the Raider 49-yard line. Monin to the far side looking downfield, and the ball up for grabs, and who's got it? Reynoldsburg does. Big number 21 with the interception on the play. Alex Crump-Whitson pulls down the pigskin.
That's the free safety, just being able to make a play on the ball. He's playing center field here. This ball is really well thrown. It hangs a little bit. Maybe it's a touch long, but how about the ball hawking skills of Alex Crump-Whitson, number 21, just a junior coming up to be able to make the play. And another turnover here, and this ball is going the other direction. Reynoldsburg has the football again.
And ironically, that is indeed how Buddy White described Alex Crump-Whitson, as a ball hawk at free safety. Lived up to that moniker right there. 1st and 10 now, 6:15 left to go. On the ground, they keep it. They'll push the pile to the outside, across the 15, to the 20, up to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. As that time, a nice move inside and then outside by Zion Jackson-Wilburn, 5'9" and 190. We talked about his increased speed and strength, and he showed it there. And we've got a Raider player now down at the 16-yard line being attended to on the far side of the field.
When you look at that body at 5'9", 190 pounds, looks like a bigger man than that when he's running the football. But again, Buddy White talked about him and called him a self-made man. That here's a guy that has had to go and continually improve himself to get better and better. Went out for the track team to try and get faster, and he certainly has benefited. And there you see the training staff working on a lower body of one of the Reynoldsburg Raiders.
And they'll attend to that player along the far side of the field here with 6:05 left to go. Well, it's the biggest plays, the biggest schools, the best high school football, and you get to see it first thanks to First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Spectrum. Join Jay Richardson for your first look at the top high school football games here in Central Ohio tonight at 10:45 only, and I mean only, on Fox 28. Jay may join us for a game later on this season, because we have to negotiate 10 games with Jeff's agent. That doesn't always go well sometimes, too. So you never know when you become that successful and that wild. And by the way, Buckeye football season is just around the corner. Are you pretty amped, sir?
Yeah, 2 weeks from yesterday, the Buckeyes will open on the road at Minnesota against the Golden Gophers. And some people are calling that a trap game. I don't think it is, because I think everybody is fully aware of what Row the Boat is all about up there in Minnesota, and they're going to be ready to play. Minnesota returning more starters than any team in the Big Ten. That's the good news. The bad news is they were terrible last year with those same starters. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
And Clay Hall with the Football Fever will have it covered inside and out, A to Z as well, too. So we'll look forward to that as well, too. And how about my alma mater, Indiana, preseason 17th in the nation?
Yeah, that's impressive.
What world are we living in now?
Did you ever think you'd live in the world where Indiana would be ranked ahead of the team up north?
And my next-door neighbor from college is the new head basketball coach at Indiana.
Ah, impressive.
Mike Woodson, or Woody as we used to call him. 1st and 10, across the 25, and out to the 30-yard line on the carry that time. And another 3 yards picked up on the play by Mr. Jackson-Wilburn, who looks to be a bit of a workhorse here on this drive in the third quarter for the Raiders, who still come up sans a huddle. And look at him, just churning the legs, keeping the legs driving, Jeff. You always allude to that, and there he goes, Zion down the sidelines, the 20, the 10, the 5. Does he stay in bounds? He takes it the distance for the touchdown. Some 70 yards, no flags, but keep the legs moving, accelerating the contact. He did all those things, and he's rewarded with another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF, and he hits the roof with this one.
Yeah, the students over there celebrating in their Hawaiian outfits, looking really good. And then you talk about putting them up and putting them down. Zion Jackson Wilborn, we talked about the fact that this young man went out for track to increase that speed, and look at the body. Shouldn't be able to run that fast and be able to run the football. 14 carries tonight, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns for number 6.
And I can do the math there. That's 10 yards a carry. Myers now for the extra point. Snap, kick, and he took too long to kick the ball, quite honestly. The blocking wasn't there either. 3 plays, 88 yards in less than a minute. And you kind of sense they were going to try to do a beatdown with Upper Arlington with a running, and they didn't have to wait too long to make it official as they take it around the right side and get the touchdown from Zion from about 70 yards out. And just like that, the lead is now up to 34-14 as they miss the extra point. There you see big number 7 on crutches. That is Savion Torrance, who could also be an explosive player for Reynoldsburg when he comes back. But here's a look at the touchdown again. And look at the contact there, Jeff.
Yeah.
And there. And there.
And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's part of that is poor tackling, to be honest with you. You've got to do a better job of wrapping up when you get that opportunity. But I also want to give a lot of credit to that young man, because he is a load to be able to bring down. He is a lot like Greenstock in terms of body and the ability to stretch a play. But congratulations to that young man. He's having a great night.
And you know what I like, too? He acted like he belonged there, too.
Yeah.
The way he handled himself after scoring, he said, that's what I'm supposed to do. And that's what Buddy White has brought about, is a sense of this is what you're supposed to do. Act like you have a responsibility to do the best you can for the team. In fact, he, over the years, has brought the GPA up from like around 2.3 or 4 to the senior class, I think a year ago, was at 3.35. So he's done a great job.
In your interview with Buddy before this game tonight, one of the things that he was proudest of was the fact that the GPA for his football team has increased dramatically.
It is kickoff time for Mr. Fall. Diagonal kick that will start the return at the 15-yard line, up to the 30, and a return of about 15 yards on the play for Chris Reynolds. Down to the sidelines we go, and Miles Harris. Miles.
Randy, thanks. Now, one of the things that we mentioned earlier in the pregame was really the excitement of really having fans back into the stands. However, Golden Bears really haven't given them a whole lot to really be excited about, to really talk about. The student section is really kind of quiet thus far. Now, we saw a big play earlier from them tonight. Let's see if they can get one more going to kind of get the crowd involved.
We saw the beach kids on the other side there, right?
Miles, you need to go over there and get some of that beachwear, man. I mean, you would look good
for that last run, and I'll tell you right now, Reynoldsburg, they're going crazy out before the game and even during the game now. They're coming out here with a little bit of swagger and a lot of edge out here.
Miles isn't even sweating, so he doesn't need any new attire right now. They're taking around the right side. And on the carry that time is big number 33, is Carson Greeson. Looks to be none the worse for wear after kind of getting a dinged up shoulder maybe on the earlier possession. We'll get a nice gain with 4:55 and ticking in the third. Move it out to the 38-yard line. They need a couple more to move the sticks.
That big offensive lineup there. Nico Gerber at the left guard. Jacob Pritchett, his twin brother John Pritchett at the left tackle. Doug Ryan and Riley Shimp, the right tackle.
Consistent size up front, I think, is a good way of putting it, around 230, 240 on the ground again. Now, is that a detriment that you are running it this much when you're down by 20 points if you're Upper Arlington?
Well, you're not going to get the win running the ball on every play, but you got to remember they're going to stay within their game plan of who they are and what they're all about. So they're going to have to mix it up a little bit, but I want to think that they're going to try and build some confidence in their offensive football team. The other thing they got to do, Randy, quite frankly, they got to give their defense a rest.
Yes.
They got to give them some time. So what you got to do is get a long drive here if you're the Upper Arlington Golden Bears, but you got to cash in at the end.
Charlie Ballou checks in as a wideout with the play from the bench. Raiders showing blitz, and they're sending 7. And on the keeper is Mon, and this time got it out to the 45-yard line, brought down by the shoulder there, so he'll pick up about 4 on the play as we approach just under 4 minutes left to go in quarter number 3. Reynoldsburg last year 4-4 when you include the postseason, 3-5 on the other side when you take a look at Upper Arlington. Upper Arlington is a team, too. We mentioned that, Jeff, they also had to shut it down for a couple weeks at the beginning of August, so already you got the detriment of the virus, and then Coach Buttermore getting the job in March of last year, meeting the team visually by a video for 2 months and then shutting it down for a couple weeks too. They only had 8 practice days. Reynoldsburg only had 3 before they started the season, so it's been a different adjustment for both teams now in the last couple of years. Quick pop on the out pattern. Nice move by Greenstock down the sideline. 2 great moves inside the 30, down to the 22-yard line.
This kid is terrific. This kid is absolutely terrific. You are not supposed to be able to make those kinds of moves at that body. I mean, this is not right. Look at this. He's out there making people miss.
Make the noise. Come on.
Oh, I love it.
Come on, do it.
It's a little early for that, but we're close.
That was Sugar Central. They're just waiting for one of your sound effects.
Yeah, just about.
And we've got timeout on the field.
Look at this. A little bit more work going there. Looks like NASCAR, where they're having to tape the fenders back on after they've been rubbing paint out there. That's what he is. He's nothing more than a NASCAR vehicle.
Well, he's got more than 20 seconds now to rest up because Reynoldsburg just took a timeout with 3:15 left to go. I think Buddy White wants to make sure his defense is on the same page and give them a rest too with Anthony White as their defensive coordinator. Interesting story because he replaced Dave Bynum last year, and Anthony's been on the staff for 8 years, but Dave was a guy that speaks around the country now. He found out about his adoptive parents and been going around the country and speaking about that and motivation, and has actually done an award-winning documentary about it as well too. So he steps aside, does Dave, and now Anthony White takes over as the D coordinator and talking to his troops out there saying, don't let down, you're up by 20. And then, meanwhile, if you're Upper Arlington, what are you telling your offense right now?
Well, the one thing they're happy about is that Reynoldsburg did take that time out. It gives them a little bit of a chance to kind of catch their breath. They love being able to put the ball in the hands of number 33. But they've got to get a little bit more diverse in that offense. Lance Thrush has been a receiver that they've tried to get the ball to. But outside of that, really, nobody else has been involved offensively.
Lance Thrush sounds like he could be a secret agent. I think Thrush was the enemy of Uncle, wasn't it, a long time ago, in the band from Uncle? On a first down at 10, they keep it on the ground. It's Buttermore that time. Gets the gainer on the hash mark, gets it inside the 25-yard line. Offensive coordinator, by the way, tip the cap to Upper Arlington and Chris Vangus in his second year. He's coached at Waterston, Dublin Coffin, and Westerville South and Pass. He's also a center at the University of Pittsburgh.
Looks like we might have another cramping situation. Anthony Mobley, defensive end for Reynoldsburg, a little slow getting up right there, number 11.
Who had a fumble recovery in this contest as well, too, for the Raiders. So the Raiders will take their defense to the sideline one more time. And same thing for Upper Arlington and their offense here. It has been a warm month of August as well, too. Some people would say not so surprising, but then again, you have also had a fair amount of rain, too. And for some of these kids, too, every year seems to be different. So we talk about last year being such an aberration, but it seems like every year has been something different for these kids. And I hate to say this, but I'm thankful for the way that we had that sense of continuity growing up when it came to football and sports and everything, because these poor kids have had to adjust almost differently every single time. Let's go back now, if we can, to some of the sounds of the game. You talk about NASCAR, Darryl Waltrip. Let's listen to some of the sounds of the game on the last run by Carson Greestock, if we can. I tell you what, that was something special just to see that, hear it, taste it, and feel it as well, too.
It's a physical, exciting game.
As I mentioned before, thanks to Music Go Round for the great work they do every single week. Pass near the pylon falls incomplete, intended on the play for Upper Arlington's number.
Look at this.
24.
And we got a couple of Raiders tangled up there in the end zone. Looks like somebody got the wind knocked out of them. If anything, that ball a little late being delivered, allowing the free safety to rotate over to be able to make the play. You can see trying to get the ball to Lance Thrush. Good target there. But if anything, Randy, I would say that the ball just a little late getting there, allowing the free safety to come over and make the play.
See the powder flying as well, too. And from Whitson, one of the players that was hooked up in that situation. Also, we've got a Raider down. Is that number 18 or 19?
19.
It looks like. Yeah, that would be Brandon Witherspoon. I saw the pylon get bent over then as well, too. So take a look one more time and see if we can see the contact.
He got dinged there. There was a little bit of contact made between both of the defenders, and it might have been like a helmet-to-helmet kind of a situation. You see they kind of ran into each other right there, and you can see taking the brunt of the punishment. And you know, the way he was laying on top of him, Randy, would give me the indication he probably got a ding on the head, and not sure where he was at the moment. So they'll be very, very careful watching him on the sidelines going through that concussion protocol.
All right, if you're Reynoldsburg right now, you got to play some solid D. If you're Upper Arlington, is this 4-down territory, down by 20?
No question about it.
All right. Greenstock's got it around the left side. He's got the angle. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. He motors inside the 3-yard line, and he's got a first and goal for the Golden Bears, and 2 more Raiders slow to get up. 1 now finally getting to his feet now. Big number 34, and that is Skyan Roberts. Check that. That's Teron Spencer, but take a look at the acceleration and first to the corner this time by Greenstock.
Yeah, that's kind of like stealing. There was nobody on the outside that was able to turn that play inside, and again, good choice by the offensive coaches with the play call there, being able to break the edge of that defense. First down, goal to go.
Inside the 5-yard line. Mark it officially closer to the 4. On the ground they go. Can Buttermore find the gap? He cannot. Driven down nicely. Helmet to helmet as 4 goes against number 4 on the play as Mitchell makes the hit. Jabari coming through with a touchdown-saving stop.
Yeah, a bit of a slow developing play there in the backfield. A little play action going back and forth. Everybody probably keying somewhat on Carson Greeson, who's in there, but they hand the ball to Buttermore. See if they stay with the run or whether or not they want to go ahead and fake it, and maybe quarterback Simon Monin keeping the football. See if he can get up inside. Single back now with Greeson in the backfield.
2nd down and goal. The ball closer to the 3-yard line for Monin and company. It is Greeson. He's got a gap, and he'll take it in. Knocked the helmet off of Mitchell that time. And Carson gets the touchdown. Another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF to make it 34-20. That missed extra point. You never know. Could loom large.
It might be a big deal. Getting up in there and just delivering the blow offensively. Square to the line of scrimmage. Helmet pops off. Look at the power here. Shoulder pads are low, and he's able to deliver the blow and get into the end zone. And Greeson having one heck of a night. I'm very impressed with this young man.
Ballou to hold. Yoakum for the extra point to make it 34-21. Snap, kick, plenty of leg. It is up, and it is good. So the margin is 13 and a lifetime left in this one with 1:36 left in the 3rd. It's not up. It's not really Bishop Hartley and Ursuline, but we're getting up there, and Greeson is getting up there close to 200 yards rushing in this contest as well, too.
106 yards in the first half, nearly doubled that already here through the 3rd quarter, and my goodness, off to a great start. Senior campaign for that young man.
Yeah, we mentioned last night, if you missed it, Hartley lost to Ursuline 62-58 up in Youngstown. 9 plays, 70 yards, and it took 4:33 off the clock.
That was basketball, I presume.
No, you are incorrect, sir. So, but you know, you take a look at Hartley. They always play that challenge game. You know, not like the rest of their schedule's a cakewalk, but they always look for that big interstate rival, and they found one in Ursuline, who Coach Ritter and company looks to have a good squad this year. And of course, the CCL is going to be loaded later on this season. We'll have Hartley against DeSales, so that should be a lot of fun coming up on Friday Night Rivals. You can go to the website to CW Columbus and see the complete slate of 10 games we've got on the menu for you this season here on the CW Columbus. You don't try anything funny here with the kickoff, do you?
I would think not. This is a young man that can kick it through the end zone and make sure they don't have a recovery.
And say goodbye, football. We'll see you at the 20-yard line in a couple of seconds. So now, if you're Reynoldsburg, you've established so much offensively. You really, if you're the Golden Bear defense, back on your heels a little bit because they went run that last series after looking downfield for some long passes. Before that, they tried some bubbles as well, too. Then the pass across the middle. So Reynoldsburg has shown the ability to move the ball in a number of different ways.
Now, there you see the numbers on Dijon Jennings, 15 out of 21 for 259. Just 1 touchdown passing. He's been really solid, though. Here's his rushing stats, 13 carries, 58 yards. That includes sacks back there, too. So he's been effective running the ball.
That puts him over 300 yards in those two combined. And there's a solid hit at the 17-yard line. That time, nothing doing. Great pressure defensively coming through.
Boy, a terrible blocking mistake out on the perimeter by the senior Donovan Reed. He's got to make sure that he stays engaged with that defensive back. And they nearly lost a receiver here. Watch how quickly, boom. I mean, this is right there making the play.
Luke Frederick.
The one thing that Arlington gained in that last drive is their defense got that rest that I was talking about, Randy.
And he is a returning starter. Mr. Frederick trying to skate outside and get to the corner, and Gillen not giving up yet, finding a gap across the 30. How did he do that? Look at the 4.3 speed now. Can he outrun him? He's got the angle to the 20, the 10. There's no way that should have happened, but it did. Touchdown Reynoldsburg.
That looks like the play we just saw from a number of years ago where it's like he's dead. This is going to be a 3-yard loss in the backfield, and they turn it in to a huge score, and that was absolutely outstanding.
Luke Frederick tried to make the stop. There's another Ringless Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. It looked like he was going to be stopped, and it looked like Frederick, who was trying to get into a track meet with him. Take a look at this right there. Yeah. Stopped again, maybe? Nope.
Nope. The knee did not touch the ground. That's one thing I wanted to look at. Let's watch again. Knee is not on the ground, and this is a water bug just all over the place. You're not going to touch him. My speed against your speed, no way. This is going the distance.
And that's how 5-5 can be effective when you add the numbers 4-3-1 after it. Myers for the extra point. And that one is good. And now they get that touchdown back. And it is now 41-21 with 48 seconds left to go.
Yeah, he might be one of the most exciting football players in Central Ohio. And again, well undersized. But that tells you that everybody can play this game, you know, and he's got a great gift of speed, but this is a young man that also has a great attitude.
He's got D2 offers. Can he play on the next level at D1?
The answer is yes. You know, there's some place that would be able to find something for him to be able to do. Is he a Power 5 Conference D1 guy? I don't think so.
All right, Jeff, we are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the Buckeye football season, and the football fever is the best pregame tradition and what is expected to be another exciting chase for the championship. Join Clay Hall, Rodney Dunnigan, and a roster of Buckeye Brain Trust September the 2nd, starting at 6:30 p.m. on Fox 28, getting you ready for the Buckeyes and the Gophers. It is I emphasize the football fever.
They do a great job. Clay Hall, an excellent leader, brings the great sports to you and does it with a great amount of class.
And enthusiasm. He still has that passion for sport that he had so many years ago when he started. He and I are a couple of old-timers. You're even younger than us when it comes to doing this stuff. Although, I saw a clip with you in the 70s, did I not? Doing some games on Q.
Doing what? Oh, not in the 70s.
Oh, it was 80s?
It was in the 80s.
1880s or? Okay. Well, there's the kick high, not that deep. The return's going to start from the 21-yard line. Up to the 30. Nice return this time to the 40. A gap. 360 up to midfield and down to the 49-yard line for Chris Reynolds. So Reynolds with a nice return. And, you know, you always say, okay, Upper Arlington's down 2 or 3 touchdowns, but then they find a way to come back and crawl and fight and try to get something. We'll see what they can do now. Down by 20, but still 41 seconds left to go in the third and the entire fourth period yet to play on the scoreboard.
Yeah, hard to tell where this one's going to go, but I can tell you right now, Justin Buttermore's got to be pretty pleased with the attitude of his football team coming out here and swinging still in this game down 20 points.
Lamont and the quarterback, Greestock in there to try to go over 200 yards in this contest. 3 wide to the bottom, 1 to the top. And there's the handoff on this first down play. And look at this gap. Look at the speed. Greestock says, I can do it too. And in one play, they answer. 49 yards as he takes it the distance right there on a Home Appliance Solutions first down for the touchdown. Another Reynolds Roofing touchdown as well, too.
Are you kidding me?
Boom.
How about this?
He's over 200 yards.
It's turned into a basketball game. How about the scores here? This is nothing fancy. This is great blocking at the point of attack. And watch how he puts his foot in the turf and accelerates through the field. Look at the effort by the young man. Great blocking by the offensive line there. And you can see the trash talking going on at the end. And I think he's deservedly so. Somebody trying to strip the football after he'd already crossed through the back of the end zone.
A trio of touchdowns, extra point time. And the kick is up and good. I wondered why we saw that track meet last night with Ursuline and Hartley. Now I'm starting to understand offenses are a lot further along maybe than some of the defenses, and we've seen some stellar individual performances in this contest tonight. And there's a guy that's done a great job for the Golden Bears. They're down by 13, but we'll see if they can come back with another score. and there's still 30 seconds left to go here in this third quarter.
This has got to be a record-setting night for Greenstock. I don't know all of his stats his entire career, but Randy, he's approaching 300 yards of total offense. Total offense for sure. He's got the ball out of the backfield a couple of times tonight, but rushing the football, he's been absolutely spectacular.
Football begat ping pong in this contest now at 41-28, 32 ticks left to go. And let's see if Joachim can pin him deep again. That's the one thing, too. The kicking game, when they've been able to kick on the kickoffs, they've been able to pin Reynoldsburg deep, but the Raiders have found a way to traverse the length of the field.
Reynoldsburg's got to be thinking, what do we got to do to get these guys to go away? We just want to get done with the game and get on the bus and go home. And Upper Arlington wants no part of that.
And the Zambezi Bay player of the game, who could it be right now? I can't make that call yet. It's too early.
Back and forth.
I think we split it 6 ways right now. Joachim to football. Here's my foot. The football's response. I'll see you later. Through the uprights, almost.
Yeah, they're not even intending to even chase that ball. Great leg there. Young man that is ranked as Zach Joachim is ranked number 20 nationally as a kicker by the recruiting services that are out there.
And who is one of their assistant coaches at Upper Arlington?
Mr. Drew Basil, doing a good job down there.
Yep.
Great young man. There's Drew right there. Doing a great job leading that kicking group.
And Gillum has a good average there, 82 yards a carry. And when he catches the ball, a little less, but he's made so many stellar plays as well, too. And he keeps you honest defensively. On a first down play, on the ground they go, and they bounce it outside. And up to the 27-yard line. Gain of maybe about 7 on the plays. That time they bounced it to the outside, and nice game by Jackson Wilburn, because on that last drive they were able to do that too. Remember, he got a couple of nice runs too. Now, you look at it, we've had 6 touchdowns so far in this quarter.
Randy, when you think about Gillum, and we just one carry there for 82 yards. It was a spectacular play. The 6 receptions that he's had in the football game, but he has an impact on every play because you have to account for him on every play.
Who will have the biggest impact in the fourth quarter? We shall find out together. 12 minutes left and maybe 6 more touchdowns. Don't leave. At the end of 3, Reynoldsburg on top of Upper Arlington, 41-28. This would be Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College, in one place on the CW Columbus.
Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Nico Gerber is a 4-year football player for Upper Arlington High School, a multi-sport athlete. He has also lettered in track. Nico has taken honor courses and currently holds a 3.9 GPA. He's been involved in the mentorship program and volunteers for youth football camp. Congratulations to this outstanding Ohio Education Association Scholar Athlete.
Congratulations to Nico Gerber for his honors, and he's done a great job at left guard tonight. 5'10", 215. And a senior as we work our way into the fourth quarter. Reynoldsburg on top of this one. 41-28 is the tally in this one. And Reynoldsburg facing a 2nd down and 2 from the Raider 28-yard line. On the ground, the bounce outside, and Zion's got the first down. You wonder about the battle of attrition. Do you start just knocking heads right now if you're the Raiders? Even though you have that deep threat, so far it looks like they're running the ball a lot more the last couple possessions.
I think Buddy White would have loved to have gotten in a position where he could just salt this one away and use the running backs, but I think he's fully aware of the fact that they can't turn the ball back over to Upper Arlington with their ability to be able to score as quickly as they have been, and that's what you didn't expect out of this Upper Arlington football team.
With 4 wideouts from the 35-yard line to the far side it goes, a step back and then a couple steps forward, like to the tune of about 9 or 10 yards on the play.
And once again, you got Gillum dead to rights there with no gain, yet he is able to make somebody miss. He gets him on an island, and he is just so good at being able to make people miss and accelerate. Now watch how quickly he gets the ball, and there's a defender right there. You got to break down if you're that defender coming out and realize that that little bug is not going to be where you thought he was. People are going to be moving out there. You got to make sure you keep your eye right there on his hips and stay with him.
Indeed, a home run hitter, 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. A quick pop, he's got a man in the flat, and it is caught for a gain of about 1 that time for Gillum. They don't mind going to the short side of the field with the short guy, do they?
No, they really don't, because he can, again, it's just so exciting. That time using the sidelines as your friend, being able to just push him out of bounds. That's the great equalizer if you can keep him over there by the sidelines.
Gain of only 1 on that play, 2nd down and 9. Look at the lineup at the top there.
A little crowded up there, isn't it?
See if everybody gets back in position. Now they're back on side. 2nd down and 9.
They like the jailbreak screen out of this.
This time Jennings on the keeper. Can he find the opening to the outside? Good pursuit by the Golden Bear defense. To tell you what, the guy that came down the line and shot through is big number 44 on your screen. He just went down the line, did a great job. Carter Brock, we talked about earlier, a guy that can play on both sides of the football, and last year was in on about 80 tackles. And you mentioned the fact that he came over from Granville High School a couple years ago when Coach Buttermore came over, and his dad played football at Kentucky, and it's in his blood.
Yep, he's the #1 tackler from a year ago, returning for the Golden Bears. And Randy, if we've had a key play in this football game, I got to believe that this is one of them right now on 3rd down and 11.
1 of 17 I think we've had in this contest. Jennings back to throw, pressure on, looks, dumps, has his man, passes, incomplete, in and out of the hands of the receiver at the 45-yard line. It looked like Edwards had enough for the first down and had the football, but couldn't corral it, and now it's 4th down for Reynoldsburg.
Ball thrown just a little low there for Javion Edwards, able to come up with the ball, and a lot of pressure on quarterback Dijon Jennings. Watches, he has to step up in the pocket, delivers it here. And Randy, that's a ball that he should catch coming over the middle that time. Defensive pressure back there, but they're going to get the ball again unless we have another fake punt. Oh my!
Has a snapped over his head inside the 20, back to the 17, and he does punt it. This time he does kick the ball, and he gets it across midfield. That goes down as a save. He was a reliever coming out of the bullpen there, and he made a great save on that one and got the ball down to the 40-yard line somehow.
It ends up as a 16-yard punt. Upper Arlington's going to get the ball in great field position. Not a chance this young man's going to be able to catch the football. Got those electric shoes. See if he can make something happen. He's able to punt the ball. Learned his lesson.
I really think the Golden Bears expected him to run that time, and they were surprised when he got it, and he actually did boot the ball.
Well, still great field position for Upper Arlington.
And down by 13 points. We played 1:40 of the fourth quarter, 41-28. Reynoldsburg up in this one, week 1 of our 10th season here on the CW Columbus. And look at this look now. The short alignment. They've got 3 wide, 2 stacked to the bottom of the formation, 1 wide at the top of the set as well, too. Monin with a long count. Wants to throw. Downfield and looks for, and was there a grab? Yes, there was, and they caught it. They're going to call head for grabbing on to number 24, Kuiper Lashutka. Flag resting at the 36-yard line.
It's one of the few times they've tried to get the ball to Lashutka. There's the pass interference play going against the defense. Hand checking going on there. The fact that that ball was underthrown a little bit Lashutka having to make the adjustment inside to get to the football, and that really brought the defender in an uncomfortable situation where he had to interfere. And you can see reaching out with that hand was Deontay Head, the strong safety.
You're allowed to make contact with the receiver, but whenever you do something in a way to gain an advantage, that's where the rub is, and that was the call there. And make it 1st and 10 now from the 45-yard line.
And I really think that ball being underthrown really helped in create the interference.
From the 45 of the Berg, Greenstock off the right side. Maneuvers inside the 40, picks up at least 5 on the play, 2nd down. So you look at the clock now, and you're up Arlington after being down 20 points or so. Now you're down, 13 points? Plenty of time. You're on the short side of the 50.
Certainly no panic at all. Over 240 yards rushing tonight for Greenstock. That's his 19th carry of the game, and he's over 240 yards rushing.
And coming from the sidelines now is Ballou. He's been messenger in a lot of plays, and this time he'll come and give the play to Simon Monin. And Ballou will go wide to the top, 2 to either side now. Lashutka's in a slot now to the bottom. Remember, he was the guy that was the victim of that pass interference play. But they'll keep it on the ground as they spread out the defense, and now a late toss to Thrush, and he'll get it down to the 31-yard line. That time, Monin had a lot of time to maneuver and find a play, and he found the opening to Thrush, who gets the ball, makes the catch, and now he's going to move the sticks with the ball resting at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, that was designed as a bubble screen from the very beginning. Great job by Kuiper Lashutka out on the flat. He's the guy that's got to make the block. He does that, creates the space, and they're able to come up with a big play and a 1st down.
And Head makes the tackle. Now 2 wide to the top. Strength to the bottom of the formation, and that's the way they'll run it. With Greenstock, who's got a gap, 20, 15. He could motor across 300 yards in this contest tonight.
Yeah, very impressive again, running him to the short side of the field. I mentioned in that first half, if you're still hanging in there watching this game with us, they love to run this kid into the short side of the field. Just by the math, there's less defenders over there, and he can create mismatches into their secondary.
Gain of 15 down to the 16-yard line, 1st and 10 from there. Just over 9 minutes left to go. Again, Ballou in with the play. He goes to the top of the formation, joined on that side by Carter Brock, the tight end, who can split out. Now it's a triad to the top with Thrush to the bottom. And Greenstock will readjust to the left of Monin now. And a big gap right up the middle, and Greenstock all the way down to the 6-yard line before the ankle tackle is made. It'll be 1st and goal. Golden Bears. Now you wonder about the tiredness of the defense of Reynoldsburg.
Well, and that's one of the things that Upper Arlington needed to give their defense a rest. And right now, the Raiders are in trouble, and you can see the great block, the trap block coming across. They negated Keyshawn Slaughter, who's a 346-pounder.
Greenstock cuts it inside to the 2, to the 1. Does he break the plane? Waiting for a signal right now. No, he does not. As the line judge comes up and says, no, he's short of the goal line. With 8:25 and ticking. Who's going to get the ball in this play?
Yeah, I was going to say, good push by the offensive line, and there are no secrets right here, guys. 33 will carry the football, and they will try and get him into the end zone. They'll challenge that offensive line to create some push and just put 33 in motion right up the middle.
Ansel checks in as an H-back. They have it inside the 1. Greenstock's got it, and he has got the touchdown. Count it, 7:56 left to go. Get out the calculator. It's now 41-34. With the extra point forthcoming, another Reynolds Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. Boy, they're getting a lot of estimates tomorrow after all these touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, look at, again, the push by that offensive line. Really a good job. And you can see the trap. See the defensive or the offensive player coming across the way on the trap, trying to make the play.
Numbers now on Carson Greeson. He's up to 4 touchdowns and 276 yards, Jeff.
Yeah, coming across on that trap play. Really good job by Colin Ansel, number 36.
And Yoakum. Boy, that was a nice catch by Ballou on that snap. It was a little behind him. He got the extra point. And now it's 41-35. It could be the first one to 60 wins this contest, as now Upper Arlington has come back and cut the lead to just 6 points with still just under 8 minutes left to go.
Yeah, there was a 20-point game just moments ago, and Randy, you said maybe that missed extra point means something in the game. When you look here, it certainly looks like it might have an impact.
And now a word from our friends at Ramos Roofing.
Your home is your largest investment. You want to protect it and everything within, but problems with your roof are not always easily visible. Most insurance companies recommend a yearly roof inspection to find issues before they develop into major problems. Ramos Roofing provides that inspection at no cost with no obligation. And if you need a new roof, trust your property to a 5-star rated company with the honesty, integrity, and respect to treat your home like their own. Call, text, or visit RamosRoofingAndRemodeling.com today.
And what a drive. 7 plays, 60 yards, 2:24 off the clock. What was 20 is now down to 6 points. 41-35. We will play all night if we have to.
A lot of excitement on the sidelines down there. I think Miles even jumping around down there with the rest of the Golden Bears.
We'll talk to him in just a second as we have the touchback. Miles, what's going on down there?
Yeah, the Golden Bears are definitely jumping around here on the sideline, but I went over there and looked at the Reynoldsburg Raiders sideline and seeing how Coach White was kind of feeling about his team. You can definitely see the sense of urgency kind of shifting over on that side, constantly looking at his coaches and also looking at his D-line to seeing what they can do to really stop this run game from the Golden Bears.
Right now, you got to wonder about conditioning because we touched on that many times already in this second half. But I think when you approach the midway point of the fourth quarter, Jeff, that's when even more of it can come to the forefront.
Yeah.
We've seen both teams trying to run the ball and with a lot more effectiveness here in the second half.
Yeah, this is where you rely on your seniors to be able to make plays for you. Dijon Jennings, one of those guys, hands the ball off here.
And to the outside, they take it this time out of carry with Jackson Wilburn on a nice run, and he's got a good game, but there's a flag resting at the 32-yard line. So we'll see what that's all about with 7:48 left to go. Reynoldsburg has been penalized a lot in this contest tonight. I think we have another player needing some attention along the far side of the field as well, too. So we'll wait for the call for our referee tonight, Greg Gumpf. And the group is getting together. And we've got a couple players that are shaken up along the sidelines, far side of the field. We talked about our Honda keys of the game earlier, kind of revisiting those for Reynoldsburg. Sweet sounds from DJ, which would be Dijon Jennings. We've got that. Big night, big deal, because the new high school, they wanted to downplay that as the visitor. Personal foul.
Helmet to helmet.
Helmet to helmet contact against the Raiders.
You know, the interesting thing about that, that's going against the offense. And Randy, that's one of the things that we're seeing more and more in high school football. When that offensive player lowers his head and creates the helmet to helmet contact, they are now calling that on the offense because they're the ones that initiated the fact that they only had their helmet there to be able to hit.
And for Upper Arlington, we talked about their keys. Resock it to them, and they have, and don't let Gillum thrill them. And the verdict's still out on that. So we'll find out what happens here as they're going to mark that penalty off against the Raiders with that helmet-to-helmet contact. We talked about that, and then also the one rule change this year basically is what you do from a blocking stance, too. You can't kind of go down or do that pop-up move. You got to go and commit to the block, and haven't seen any problems with that this year. Big gap in the middle of that defense up front right now for Upper Arlington on this first down play. They need 16. Jennings pump fakes, has the ball across the 25, and will pick up the penalty and get the first down along the far side of the field.
Boy, escaped right out the back door there. A lot of pressure. They were spreading the defense as best they could, Randy, with all those receivers across the formation. You mentioned that big hole in the secondary, and that's exactly where they ran, was right back to that open side, or the close side, excuse me, the short side of the field, where there were fewer defenders.
So they had that illegal blindside block that we talked about. Now, when you block from the blind side, Jeff, too, you can use your hands fully extended, but anything less than that is the penalty, and that was that call. And then Jennings gained all the yardage, so he keeps it on the ground again, gets it up to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line, short gain on the play. And, you know, sometimes you talk about playing to win, and other times playing not to lose. We'll see what happens for both of these squads in the waning moments of this contest, because we've seen that ebb and flow back and forth. Reynoldsburg has had the lead up to 20 points, but sometimes things get a little tighter when the contest gets later and you've seen the opponent find their groove, if you will, here in the second half. But both teams have been able to move the ball almost at will in the second half. Second down, they're going to call it no gain. Back to the line of scrimmage, and we'll call it second down and 10 from the 33. Jennings on a long count. Back judge, hand goes up, 3, 2, 1. They snap it in time, but we had motion in the offensive line.
Oh, my goodness.
They were ready to pull too soon.
It looked to me like there were a bunch of guys flinching up front.
False start on the offense will move it back 5 yards.
Yeah, I get the idea of running the clock down, but not to the point that it's going to negatively affect your football team in being able to have their momentum going. And that time, those were like horses kicking to get out of the barn.
Is it Gillum time? He's in a slot to the top. Let's see if he stays in that position.
They're going to bring him to the wide side of the field now, it looks like. It doesn't really matter. If he's on the field, it's Gillum time.
That's right. He's the inside man of 3 right now.
Yeah, he's such a big impact player.
There's Jennings at quarterback. Well, they're going to keep it on the ground. And there's not a whole lot there. They'll slide it across the 30 to maybe the 31, perhaps the 32-yard line. Good job of the defense to stay at home as they slide and go over in pursuit of the football, make the hit at the 32. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 11 with 6:20 left to go here. I had Reynoldsburg burning 1 timeout early in the second half. Upper Arlington, I don't think, has used a timeout yet so far in the second half, so they'd have their allotment of 3 as well, too. And the crowd from the home team on their feet looking for a big 3rd down play. Jennings with time, guns underneath, passes deflected, incomplete. I tell you what, Ansel made a huge play getting his hand on the football, 36 on your screen. Otherwise, that was going to be a completion and just about enough of the 1st down around the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Ansel made a perfect drop from that middle linebacker position, Randy, and he had his eyes right on the quarterback. Watch 36 right over the middle, staring down the quarterback, able to get his hand up there, deflect the football. And Reynoldsburg probably lucky that ball was not intercepted after it was tipped. We see so many of those that go that way. Remember, they've struggled in this punt game.
A little off to the right, but Falls got it. Gets off the punt. Will there be a return? This time, Mazafari's got it from the 35 to the 40. Spins to the 44. There's a flag down on the play as he maneuvers up to the 45-yard line. 5:48 left to go. They toss the flag back now to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, going to be a block in the back.
But, Jeff, if you're Upper Arlington, you were down by 20 points. Now you have the ball and a chance to perhaps take the lead if you get a touchdown and convert. Block in the back, as you can see. Again, we apologize. The referee's mic not working tonight. So, but a great job by the crew of Gumpf, Strain, Edler, Green, and Roseberry.
You know, Coach Buttermore got to be proud of his football team and his coaches for not losing their composure tonight, down 20 in this game. They've continued to battle back. It hasn't always been pretty. But the guy that has been spectacular tonight is Carson Greeson, number 33, the senior running back. 309 yards of total offense so far in this game, including 276 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. 1 reception out of the backfield that came early in the football game for 33 yards.
And here we go from the 30-yard line. That's the story, and there's the man. And here's the offense and the defense as they line up with 5:48 left to go. On the ground, he's got it. Student body right to a certain extent, and Reynoldsburg staying at home to make the play defensively. Great job by the front to stay there. Mobley and company helping to make the hit. Also coming up from the bottom of the pile, you had 3 other Raiders trying to help make that play, including Keyshawn Slaughter, big number 56 on your screen, who's added a lot of size since last year. Goes 6'2" and 346, but moves so nicely with his feet along that line. So a gain of 1 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and a short 9. With the ball resting just past the 31-yard line. Monad gonna hand it off. Boy, look at that. That's just putting your head down and going. Greenstock is free at the 40, at the 30. He's over 300 yards rushing and brought down at the 3-yard line. What a run right through the teeth of the defense. And Upper Arlington down by 20. Now has a 1st and goal with 4:58 left to go. And listen to this crowd.
Well, it really didn't look like this was going to be much of a play. You can see again, right up the middle, maybe poor tackling, but great execution by Greeson. Kept those legs churning, kept his pads low.
62 yards on the gain. He's over 300 in the game. And what a way to kick off season number 10 of high school football action here on the CW Columbus. What a night to start Friday night rivals. Wow. 1st and goal, mark it just inside the 5. On the ground to keep it. He pushes the pile inside the 2. Greeson is near the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal.
All right. No rush here. Take your time. You know, a lot of time left in this football game, but there should be no sense of urgency for the Upper Arlington football team on second down here. Just let that clock run a little bit. Get your breath under you. There's no question everybody in Franklin County knows the ball is going to go to 33 for his 5th touchdown of the evening.
What do you do to stop him right now?
Try the defense where there's 15 guys on the field, because you can't do it with 11. This guy is special, and the offensive line is really, really good.
33 looking for another yard. High snap, and ball's free at the 2-yard line. Reynoldsburg says they have it.
Looked like a bad exchange between the quarterback and the running back. We'll have to get a look at it again.
And Reynoldsburg does have the football. Coming up with it is number 42, Thomas Watson. Makes the big play. The big defensive end at 6 feet, 215, and he's got the football. 4th turnover tonight for Upper Arlington. Take a look.
A little bit of a high snap.
Put it on the hip.
Yeah, he put it on the hip. It never got inside. You can see the ball being stripped right there. Ball is clearly on the ground, and Thomas Watson, the play of the game so far for the Reynoldsburg Raiders, coming up with the ball and a first down inside the 5-yard line.
Denham Craig, the middle linebacker, saw the ball on the hip. He got his hand in there on Greenstock, was able to help just jar it from him, and then Thomas Watson comes up with the ball. So Reynoldsburg has the ball, but it's first down and 98 from just past the 2-yard line.
Yeah, remember at the end of the first half when Reynoldsburg got stopped inside their own 5-yard line. Now Arlington has been stopped inside their own 5-yard line going in to score.
This is where you start looking at the clock on both sides, especially if you're Upper Arlington. You want to make a stand here. You got 3 timeouts. Reynoldsburg has 2 remaining here in this contest.
Well, the one thing if you're Upper Arlington's defense right now, it's pretty simple. It's a 3 and out. 3 and out, you're going to get the ball back with plenty of time, and you would be making them punt with the goal line right on their backside.
Mark it officially at the 3-yard line. And what is up for grabs? That magical orb.
Yeah.
For Friday Night Rivals.
What a beauty.
Thanks to Honda for their support in Columbus State Community College. First, we'll call it 97 from the 3. And whistles before we start the play. Do we have motion up front? Yes, we did. False start on the offense. Mark it back to 1.5.
Again, a victim of that no huddle, trying to communicate across the board.
You have the lead. You're up by 6. Do you give 2?
Oh, now you're not at this down, obviously.
On the ground, they burrow their way out to the 4-yard line. They pick up 2.5. Zion Jackson Wilburn on the carry.
You know, Randy, what you're talking about for our listeners out there that may not be sure, you know, if they're not able to progress the ball after 3rd down beyond where they are right now, they might be willing to take a safety. Go ahead and take the ball and then be able to have that free kick without having to worry about kicking with the rush coming at you.
2nd down at 8. And this time they push the pile again with Jackson Wilborn getting out across the 6 to the 7-yard line. Big play now on 3rd down. Reynoldsburg very conservative with their play calling inside the 10-yard line. Do you on this big 3rd down play, even though you're deep in your own territory, open it up a little bit here?
And I think what you got to do is you got to give your quarterback the opportunity to be able to make a play. Dijon Jennings.
They need 4.
Oh,
they won't
my.
get it. They maybe got a half yard. Now, if you're Upper Arlington, do you burn a timeout with 2:35 left to go? I think you do.
They've stopped the clock.
Timeout taken. Upper Arlington takes their first. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. Leave the chips and the food in the kitchen. 41-35. We'll be back right after this on the CW Columbus. You are looking at one of the premier marching ensembles in the state of Ohio, the Reynoldsburg Raider Marching Pride, and a peek of their performance during halftime this evening. Sponsored by Music Go Round Marching Band Sound. Music Go Round is ready to help you with all your instrument needs at any of their locations, 2630 Bethel Road and Gahanna inside the Stone Ridge Plaza. You know, Jeff, I always say this many times, more folks are involved in the marching band programs than the football program, so we tip our cap to them. All right, big play here.
Again, they've struggled a few times getting this ball back on punt formation.
Fall is 2 yards deep in the end zone. He's up a little closer. This time a good snap. Pressure up the middle. And he got it off. And the kick is caught and no fair catch called for. That was Canadian football there, as Mazafiri makes the catch dangerously at the Reynoldsburg 40-yard line. So here it is, Jeff. 2:28 left to go. You've got a couple timeouts. You are down by 6. You are 40 yards away. You're Reynoldsburg on defense. You're tired. You have to make one more stand. If you're Upper Arlington, how much of a dose of Carson Greestock will we see?
Well, you got to stay balanced, but you got a guy that's gone over 300 yards in this football game. There's no question that offensive line wants to deliver the blow. Greestock in the game as a single back, 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. But look at the numbers. 26 carries tonight, 345 yards and 4 touchdowns.
That is the most ever by a running back in one of our games in the CW Columbus, by the way. And he's got it there, and he adds to the total, and he's got 15, he's got 20, he's got 25, he's got a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, but they have been there before.
Well, he snuck right out the back door and went to the short side of the field again. Look at the trap block again. Great execution up front. Give a lot of credit to that center, Jacob Pritchett. He and his twin brother doing one heck of a job up front.
Miles, you heard him talking to the players down there. Coach Buttermore was conversing with them. What did he say?
He's really just telling this team to keep their composure, even after that turnover late into the game, and much of a gut punch as that really was. They just kept their composure. You kept seeing the momentum stay on the sidelines, and now you're starting to kind of hear it back here with the student section and throughout this entire stadium tonight.
High snap again. Can he get to it? This time Monin falls on it. That's what hurt them inside the 5 on the last drive. They'll lose yardage on the play back across the 20-yard line. The clock now down to 1:45 left to go and ticking.
Well, lucky they were able to recover the football. That's twice in a row now they've had snaps that have been a little suspect going back to the quarterback. Number one, Monin's got to make sure that he gets that football first before anything else.
Are the nerves taking over, Jeff?
Well, yeah, and I think it's also physically wearing down on this team. I think the physical part of this game, the heat, everything is making the players a little bit jumpy at this point.
2nd and 17. There's a blitz play if they can get through that gap, and Greestock gets some of the yardage down to around the 11-yard line now. It's 3rd down from there. 1:06 left to go. Do you burn another timeout, or do you keep going?
Keep going here. Keep the momentum going. 1:01 remaining in the game. Denham Craig, the middle linebacker, number 23, making the play for Reynoldsburg. He's a 5'9", 230-pound senior right in that middle linebacker spot.
There
Again,
you see time remaining, and Jeff, they need 7 yards. 3rd down. They have a timeout left to burn. In fact, they have a couple from the 12-yard line. Monin looks at the clock, looks at the back judge. 15 on the play clock. Wipes his hands. Down to 34 left to go. Very deliberate. Gets a high snap. Stumbles as he hands it off to Greestock. He's brought down at the 11-yard line.
They'll need a timeout now, and they've got it.
With 24 seconds left to go. Another high snap. And now one more chance for Upper Arlington and one more stand for Reynoldsburg. So much going on with both of these coaches right now. The gas tanks have to be empty. Take a look at this play one more time, the snap, and watch Monin again try to corral it, and then just barely gets it off to Greestock.
Yeah, just barely does. You can see the penetration. Great job by the outside. That time, number 42, Thomas Watson, coming up to be able to make the play on Carson Greestock, and you get your time out there. Brady, one of the reasons you have high snaps in this circumstance is because, number one, you're having your center do what are called reach blocks. That center is having to not only snap the football, but he knows he's got to go and make a block that's not somebody directly over top of him. He's having to reach into that A gap, the gap right beside him. So one of the things that they forget about doing is making sure that they get the ball snapped back to that quarterback first. They've got to make sure that that job is done perfectly, but they're trying to do that and be able to reach that A gap to be able to make that block.
Who has one more play left in them? Is it Reynoldsburg on defense, Upper Arlington on offense? Do the Golden Bears have a 7-yard play? That's what they need on 4th down. The clock dwindling down to 27 seconds. The anticipation gets greater as the clock gets smaller. And now, one last hurrah for one of these teams, perhaps with 27 ticks left to go.
Yeah, big risk.
And Reynoldsburg maybe bring a timeout?
Yeah.
Yes. They want to take a look at the offensive set, and they get a look, and now they'll burn a timeout.
That'll take Reynoldsburg down to 1, Upper Arlington with 1. You know, Randy, this is a tough call for your offensive football team because, number one, you know, this is not normally a running down. You know, 4th down and 7 to go, be able to pick up that 1st down. But when you've got a guy like Greeson, how do you not put the football in his hands in this kind of a circumstance? Because he's proven all night that he's had the ability to be able to make things happen.
At the end of the game, Jeff and I will select the Zambezi Bay player of the game for their haunting performance on the field tonight. And literally, folks, it's going to come down to the last play. If you're looking for a frightfully fun time, be sure to check out Zambezi Bay, debuting this fall at the Columbus Zoo starting September 17th. Zombies you'll love at the Bay. Check it out. And it's got to come down to the last play. Now, sure, Greeson, you think about him running. Could you dump it to him out of the backfield? But what about Buttermore? Maybe he had a couple big plays in the first half. Does he have one more left in it?
I don't know. It would be very difficult not to give the ball to number 33. Single back in the backfield.
But he needs close to 7 yards on the play from the 11-yard line. The roll by Monin, looking, gunning in the end zone. It's caught for the touchdown. They go to Thrush for the score. They get the touchdown. Here's your Ramos grouping touchdown. Get your free estimate by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. We are tied at 41, 23 seconds left to go. And if you're up Arlington, you have to watch the celebration.
Well, somebody lit a fire in that student section that was dead about an hour ago, and all of a sudden now they are jumping for joy. What a delivery here to Lance Thrush. Simon Monin comes up big in the clutch, delivers it on target, on time, and how big is this extra point?
And a whistle and a timeout. Is Reynoldsburg going to burn a timeout?
They're going to try and freeze the kicker.
Oh, my goodness. They'll burn their last timeout. 5 plays, 40 yards, 2:05 off the clock. And there's my secret agent, Mr. Thrush, right?
Again,
comes through with the big play.
Again, Randy, we're coming down to a missed extra point in this football game right now being the difference.
And I said that early in the third quarter.
Did.
And who knew it would come down to this? Take a look at this one more time. The boot by Monin looks back to his right, then looks over the middle. Was that the secondary look? Because it looked like he looked at Greeson coming out of the backfield first.
I think Greeson was a guy that he was going to look for. I think that was number one, but also he was going to make sure that he froze that free safety to make sure that that free safety paid attention to the back out of the backfield. And that's exactly what Simon Monin did. And then he squared the shoulders up and he delivered a strike right down the middle of the plate. And he was able to find Lance Thrush right there in the middle of the end zone.
Reynoldsburg hoping for some pressure and a bad snap. We've seen a lot of bad snaps on both sides of this contest to take the lead with 23 seconds left to go. And I think we'll have a flag before the kick. As a dead ball, the kick does not count. Encroachment is the call on the defense.
Yep. So that's a dead ball foul.
Dead ball because it happened from the top side as they try to anticipate the snap count, and it happened before the snap. So, you know, I don't know. Do you move it in any closer here?
I don't think it makes any difference for your kicker. You know, what they are about routine. You don't want to take them out of their routine at all. But they'll go half the distance to the goal. They'll move it all the way down to the 1.5 yard line. And instead of this kick being from the 10-yard line, we'll kick it from about the 9.
There's the view that will tell the story in this one.
What
and
the
they
heck?
did it again. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Deion Campbell that time jumped early.
I mean, they're cheating a little bit. What they're trying to do is they're trying to anticipate the snap. You know, it doesn't hurt anything from a defensive standpoint, Randy, to continue to do this if you can try and gain an advantage to try and get off the ball as quickly as you can.
You reach a point where you run it and go for 2?
No, I don't think so.
It's inside the 1 now. Unless they opt to keep it where it is. All right. The ball's now going to be spotted at the 8 by Ballou. We've seen his good hands so far.
Oh, my goodness. They're lining up in the neutral zone, I think is what it is.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. Reading the lips of our referee tonight.
You know, if you weren't having so much trouble with the quarterback snap or in the center, you might send Greenstock in there and go ahead and go for 2. But again, the frustration of the fans, the frustration of everybody on the field, the defense trying to gain as much of an advantage as they possibly can here.
Geometry is going to be finite here pretty soon. This time, the ball resting at the 7 if Ballou gets a snap. Yoakum will poke him to the top. He got the extra point. It's 42-41, 23 seconds left to go. Now, with the way that he kicks, if you're Reynoldsburg, you're probably not hoping for anything more than probably the 20-yard line with the way that he kicks off, right? And you have no timeouts left.
Well, and that brings up the question as to whether or not you want to squib kick it. You know, you've got a kicker that can certainly kick it out of the end zone and take away the risk of a kick return. And God knows that Reynoldsburg's got guys that can take it to the house at any minute. But if you squib kick and make them at least try and return, there's the extra point.
You kill some of the clock.
See, right? The pressure. You're going to run down the clock maybe to about 15 seconds unless Reynoldsburg just takes a knee.
And there is Mr. Yoakum. Is he happy? You better believe it. Now, the problem with that, Jeff, is if you squib it, what if they toss it back to Gillum?
Oh, I know. That's the issue is you've got players over there on the Reynoldsburg side that can make plays. Congratulations to this young man, Zach Yoakum, for being able to maintain his composure. Good job, Drew Basil, a coach down there, talking him through all that and keeping him calm.
When he's gotten the chance to kick, he's come through with flying colors. 42-41.
What a night to commemorate this new building and everything else.
And our first night of Friday Night Rivals, too,
Upper Arlington High School.
We're spent. How about those kids? How about you? Thanks for sticking around. Yoakum measuring it, standing back at the 29-yard line. He's been booming him all night. Will he do it again? The approach, he does it again. Touchback will bring it out to the 20. So we stay with 23 seconds. Do you expect some razzle-dazzle with multiple laterals on the first play, or do you get what you can here on this first play?
I think you're going to try and get the ball in space to that guy right there. Thanks to our camera guys. Even our camera guys know where the ball is going to go. Great job catching that. Number 10, Marquise Gillum, is going to be it.
So if that's the case, if you're Upper Arlington, how many guys you put on him? 12, 13?
Well, you got to put a couple on him. You got to make sure you pay attention to where he is. You got to take him out of the play. If he lines up on the line of scrimmage, then I think you got to go man up on him, and you got to get up there and you got to get in his face right now, and then have somebody behind you to be able to cover him. Do not they're letting him free from the line of scrimmage, which I disagree with. I think you go up and you play man coverage and you hit him right in the mouth.
Upper Arlington wants to look at that offense. They see it from the Raiders, though they burned their final timeout. Gillum is a lonely man at the top of that set. You mentioned they gave him about 11 yards of a cushion there.
You're going to double him. You're going to have that free safety back there paying attention to number 10. I would roll up that cornerback, and I would have him right on his face, and I would just battle him from the very beginning, and then have your support in there behind him, the second team.
What a comeback this has been by Upper Arlington. Down by 20 points in the second half. Both teams have had their opportunities. It has been a battle of attrition, as we mentioned, the second half with a strong play by the two teams on offense. The defenses seem to just kind of lose some air at times, but the motivation seemed to get stronger and stronger for Upper Arlington. And again, Jeff, we talk about playing to win and not playing to lose. And sometimes there's a fine line between the two, and you wonder how it's going to sort out at the end of this contest in some 23 seconds from right now. There's the front defense for Upper Arlington, looking around, trying to come up with one more play. Shake Badgley, 66, exhorting out his teammates. Now comes the offensive line with some good size from Reynoldsburg out there. Big number 62 trying to lead the charge as well, too. That's Caleb Turner, 6'3", 32. And in the backfield, Jackson Wilborn. They've got a 4 wide out set, evenly split. Jennings rolling, tucking. He'll get what he can. 25, 30, 35. And go out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line, and that burned 7 seconds. So a nice gain on the play. I really don't think Reynoldsburg is thinking field goal in any way, shape, or form right now.
No, and I remember Buddy White talking about the fact that he's got a field goal kicker.
Right.
That he thinks if he had to use him to win a football game at the end.
Well, Fall was practicing from 50, and he said, you know what, unless we can win a game, or it's the end of the half, you're not going to kick a 50-yarder. 40 is going to be the limit. Who knows? Maybe that goes out the window here tonight. 1st and 10 from the 40. 16 seconds left. Quick pop to pass incomplete on the out pattern, looking for Edwards. It just cost 3 seconds.
You know, I'm expecting, at least at this stage, and on that play, I thought we might end up seeing the ball catch then lateral to somebody coming out of the backfield. But there you see the conversation. There's our guy, Marquise Gillum.
The stand shake during the play. Everyone takes that brief respite in between plays. And now everyone with the excitement level notched up again. There it is. Little bubble out to Gillum. Marquise do 40, 45, 49. Does not get the first down. They have no timeouts. Clock's going to run down to 3, 2, 1. They cannot run another play. Upper Arlington comes from down 20 and pulls off the victory. 42-41. Madness for the black and gold begins in earnest right now.
Oh, what a great victory for Coach Buttermore and his football team. And there you can see Buddy White just got to be very frustrated with the way things went, leading in this game 41-21, a 20-point lead, and Arlington just would not go away. His kids played a terrific game tonight, and I don't think Buddy White has got anything to be disappointed in other than the outcome. His kids gave a great battle.
You talk about giving your all. Normally you're talking about a Week 10 game. We saw it here in Week 1. What a contest, what a comeback by Upper Arlington. They get the victory 42-41. Miles Harris is going to talk to the winning coach. What a conversation that will be. We'll take a break. Post game just around the corner. This is Honda's Friday Night Rivals presented by Columbus State Community College on the CW Columbus.
First Scores on Fox 28, sponsored by Spectrum, tonight at 10:45.
What a game and what a night to kick off season number 10. The fans now pouring out onto the field to celebrate this comfort behind victory tonight at Marv Moorhead Memorial Stadium as they get the victory to the home squad, Upper Arlington, by a count of 42-41. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, this game had more twists and turns than a roller coaster.
We've seen some great games, Randy, over the years, and this is going to be one of the classics. There's no question about it. Upper Arlington trailing by 20 points. And the funny part about it is they never panicked. They went with their guy, and their guy all night was Greeson. And what a play, what an evening Carson Greenstock had for this football team tonight. Just a remarkable performance, but Monin coming up with a really big play there at the end of the game with great composure, delivering the ball on time and on target.
And some snaps made it very interesting tonight, too, for both of these teams. It's time now to select the Zambezi Bay player of the game for their scary good performance tonight. And I'm waiting to find out, but I think I know who it is, but we'll see because there have been so many records that went by the wayside in our 10 years of doing games tonight that it's going to be an honor to pick this person as the player of the game for their performance in this contest, because I tell you what, this game was so exciting, but that man right there rushed for an all-time record on the CW Columbus in this contest tonight and led his team on a charge in the second half when it looked like maybe one more big play by Reynoldsburg and this team was out of this contest, and it could have been a blowout, but instead Carson Greeson led the comeback by his team, but he was not alone. But runs like that, running away from the defense, a guy that with his size could be a fullback, runs like a tailback instead, gets the big score. Let's go down to the sidelines. Miles Harris is standing by with a happy group of Golden Bears.
What did you tell your team in the huddle?
Well, we just kept on our defense. They had to get stopped. The offense was moving the ball, and you could tell that we had kind of wore them down. So, it was unfortunate because we were going in, obviously, to score, but we just knew we had to keep them on this end of the field and get a stop and get our offensive ball.
Now,
opportunity.
We apologize for the problems with the mic down twist. The head coach of the Golden Bears, Coach Buttermore, and now the mob will take over the field here. And what a job by that coaching staff. And think about the fact that, Well, a year and a half ago, he came to this place and didn't get a chance to touch or do anything with his players physically for a couple of months.
He didn't know the freaking players' names.
He didn't know anything about him, and then all of a sudden had to meet him by Zoom for a couple of months. Then when he got a chance to meet him, then they shut it down for a couple of weeks at the beginning of August because of the virus again. Then gets everything going. And Miles, let's go ahead and recap again. We had a problem with your microphone, so recap with Coach Buttermore his thoughts after this contest, if you will.
I think we're still dead down there.
Well, I don't know if Miles left the stadium. He might have been carried out by the Black
back to him as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Now, how confident are you with the way your run game went this whole evening, man?
Well, we were really happy with the offense as a whole. You know, defensively, obviously, we had to hold on for dear life. They've got some great players, and we gave up too many big plays, but just happy about the stops we got late. But the offense played well all night.
20 points down, came away with the win. Coach, how's it feel?
Feels great. Yeah, just excited to get off to a good start. Kids deserve this, so we're proud of them.
Congratulations, Coach. Enjoy this win. And, Randy, we'll send things back over to you.
Thank you very much, Miles. What a contest we saw, and what a performance, too, by Mr. Greenstock. Carson, 29 carries, 381 yards, 4 touchdowns in this contest, too. But there were so many stars, we didn't know who the hero would be. So many twists and turns, and he made some big plays. But, my goodness, this was like watching an anthology tonight, not one chapter of a book. It went on and on and on, and congratulations to the Golden Bears. They survived this contest. It's going to be tough for Buddy White and that team to come back on a Monday, or even to look at this tape, too, and say, okay, we could have had this game. But you got to find the silver linings if you're the head coach, do you not?
You know, absolutely, and it's a long season. We're in week number 1, and both of these football teams are really good. Look at the total offense. Total yards for Reynoldsburg, 607 yards in this game. Upper Arlington coming back with 523 a total. They only had 29 yards passing in the first half. A little bit better. Look at the number of penalties, though, for Reynoldsburg. 11 penalties in this game. 4 turnovers, though, for the Upper Arlington Golden Bears. Randy, if you told me that Upper Arlington's going to turn it over 4 times and win the football game, I'd have told you you're losing your marbles, my friend.
Over 1,100 yards in total offense. And it's an amazing contest, and it came down to maybe those turnovers, too, at times. There's the matchup for next weekend. What a game it'll be on Honda's Friday Night Rivals, as presented by Columbus State Community College. And that will be a lot of fun coming up next Friday night right here. So check it out, 7 o'clock. We start the pregame, 7:06 is the kick. Week 1 of Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College, is in the books. A big thank you to all of our sponsors and to Upper Arlington High School for hosting our broadcast team. We'll be back next Friday, as we mentioned, at 7 p.m. for that contest between Gahanna Lincoln and Groveport Madison. On behalf of Jeff Logan, Miles Harris, and our entire image video production team, I'm Randy Reinhardt. Stay tuned for Schitt's Creek here on the CW Columbus. Good night, everyone. And remember, Upper Arlington survived 42-41. Thanks for joining us for the first ever broadcast of Honda's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College in one place on the CW Columbus.